Hey, what's up, YouTube? We're episode 32 of Second Wake Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Kareem Zamir. Boop. Those are the Seekers of Galanti. Let's get into it. When we last left episode 31, we had a number of things that occurred, and you know what? I think Bucky will tell me what happened.
Okay. So we built a pyre for Colt and lit it and walked away. And we started heading towards Orinn when we saw a bright light streak down from the sky and make an impact not far from us. We tried to get there, see what was going on. A few of us went down into the crater, ended up getting pretty hurt trying to break an artifact free when Bucky had to jump in and save some folks. But Orville did manage to get the stick using DM inspiration, and we don't know exactly what it is yet, but it did some interesting things to him, like healing. And after that, we made our way to Orinn, where we met some furbolgs and tried to entertain the furbolg's child. And I think at that point we took a long rest, if I'm not mistaken. I think that covers it.
Just about sums it up. So yes, our group had left their small raided giant ridden campsite just south of the Bend and Wren's Fork, headed further south still after disposing of I shouldn't say disposing, laying to eternal rest Colt Honeycutt's body, and of course setting on their journey further south for rest in a small respite from the dangers that might still exist within Wren's Fork and the steam fields. They set their sight for Orinn, watched a number of cosmically, who knows, almost chattable moments that occurred within the universe, and through a course of events, Orville did come to find a wooden stick, that's got some bumpies on it. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice stick. It was in a giant bowl made out of crystalline glass, so that's cool. But yeah, then the group came across the Fiberhair family, both Clyde Fiberhair and his daughter Calliope Fiberhair, and were entreated to very, very welcoming customs. The people of Orinn, at least for the Fiberhair family, seem to treat Weaver's Chosen with quite a bit of respect, and were more than happy to share in a bit of story in exchange for a bit of rest, comfort, and relaxation. The group took a long rest early in the morning of Orinn, their first day, and as they awaken, murdered in their beds, Calliope cackling with an... No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. You're fine. No, you all accomplish a long rest. A full 8 hours pass. You peel from early 7 to 8 in the morning, a little bit past that even, after your adventures out in the fields in the crystalline bowl. And now you find yourself early afternoon, as many of you begin to flutter your eyes awake, Vel being among the first within the half time. You look over your friends, seeing many of them piled into these large Furbolgian beds, these heavy-looking couches that have been laid around the common room. And while many people are rolled up, sleeping, Morgan having horrible breathing issues as a massive weight seems to sit upon her chest, crushing much of her internal organs into a fine paste while purring. Chunkini and her both seem to be relaxing as best as they're able. But as you come to consciousness, Vel, you do note the door to your room, which was once closed, now hangs slightly ajar.
I guess I'll just take a cursory look around and see if anything is amiss.
Sure. Go ahead and roll investigation.
10.
You said a 10?
Yep.
All right, well, her stealth was a 5. You see this small Furbolgian girl sat right at the head of the bed where Orville and JJ and Bucky are sleeping, and currently has her nose propped up on the covers and seems to be like the most excitable child on a Saturday morning cartoon block, waiting for the crappy late night TV to end and for the entertainment to begin. She seems to just stare with unmitigated excitement at your sleeping friends.
I'll just try to like wave her over and give her a little shh and see if she wants to go talk and let everyone else rest. So I'll just entertain her while everyone else finishes their rest.
Okay. She'll easily oblige. Your name is long enough and filled with vowels that she finds you partially interesting. With that, go ahead and just roll me a general performance check to see if you can weave a tale or two that might entertain her.
That's a natural 1.
That's a natural 1. Okay.
So that's a total of 2.
So I imagine Vel being a bit of a realist, and I might be taking liberties there. But you started on like a very heroic tale, and you're like, yeah, and we were delivering this mail, and then there were these tieflings, and things were getting rough, and then we had this thought to do this, and then you just tell the tale of how you all as a group really early on in your adventures talked down a group of bandits, and nobody was injured and nobody was hurt and nothing really happened. And to you, it's like a landmark tale of like, look how good diplomacy can be, young lady. And you try to like magic school bus this girl into believing that like there are lessons to be found in stories, not just cool heroics. And she is yawning and exhausted. And about an hour into your story, she's full hand under head going, as the rest of you begin to stir. She kind of shakes and looks around at you, goes, oh dang, okay. Oh, all the interesting people are waking up. I mean, thank you so much, Miss Vel Uthil. That was a super interesting story. I sure can't wait to talk people to death. That seems like a great use of my time. Hey, do y'all want to go outside? The city's all, it's all, a bustle. I could show you to my friends and show them how I know genuine Weaver's Chosen. It'd be super fun. And you guys they wouldn't bother you none. But like, it's not every day that kids around here get to see real genuine heroes that, and she like looks down and then like sheepishly looks back to Vel, that know the value of diplomacy and that violence is not always the solution to what might be the cause of the issue. But anyway, you maybe could show them your swords or some of your magic or some of your fancy stuff, like that big, that T-Rex of a cat right there. And she points to Chunkini. There's got to be a story with that thing. It's massive.
I just imagine Chunkini meows right now and like looks at her.
Meow. And she's like, what did he say? And she looks around and then she walks forward and you see her like very, very closely stare into Chunkini's eyes and she goes, meow, 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 meow. And Chunkini starts purring and talking back to her. For any of you trained in nature, furbolgs can speak with animals. It's just a thing they do. And she starts having a full conversation with Chunkini right like at your sleeping area. And she gets up and she goes, wow, I had no idea you all met so many motherfuckers on your journey. And you see Chunkini licking his paw. She goes, I had never even heard the phrase before, but Sir Chunkington has definitely opened my eyes to the possibilities of this. Is it true that he's actually a very powerful wizard? Or was he leading me on?
It is absolutely true.
I knew it. He said he knew a powerful spell called Catnap, and it was a very high casting ability. So I'm shocked that he could do that at will, but I didn't want to, assume him to be a liar.
Nope, he tells you the truth.
Oh, wow. Even your pets are majestic. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. But if you want to come into the town with me and meet my friends, I know Tim would be super thrilled to see you all. He talks about Weaver's Chosen all the time. Oh, you can come meet the captain. The captain would love to meet you. He talks about adventures and how you ought to live your life. Maybe you guys could compare fighting notes or something. Oh, okay, well, or not. That's fine. Quiet room. That's fine. I'll just leave. And you hear, like, as she goes to leave, you hear Chunkini go, meow, meow. And she's like, oh, yeah, I was leaving, sir. I'm so sorry for bugging your nap. And she walks away and leaves the room. The door kind of clicks behind her, but doesn't really close. It kind of just like goes against the locking mechanism. And you guys are all left in the small, relatively small for Bolgian bedroom. And what do y'all want to do?
How long are we thinking of being?
Oh, Jesus, there's an echo on your mic. What happened?
I was just asking how long we're thinking of being here.
Oh,
You're getting a lot of echo.
it's like picking up the whole... Is it set to your microphone or is it set to a different mic? I wonder. I wonder.
Well, that was something I was figuring we would discuss right about now. If we wanted to head straight back out and where we wanted to head, or if we wanted to take a bit of a moment or consider our options before rushing out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to restock on healing potions. And probably take stock of, like, how we're gonna handle this now that Colt's gone.
But we can check the market, and the docks is a city on a lake, and the rivers do lead out. Fairly decent crossroads. Might be able to find something. Not sure with the size of it if it'll be as easy to procure magical goods such as a potion, but it's definitely worth looking.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's a good mic.
Is it all better?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're kind of faced with a big dilemma otherwise, though. No, I guess maybe perhaps more, or maybe I have more questions, I suppose, than answers at this point.
I mean, do
Well,
we
we
still want
have-
to try to contact Lady Galanti or the Herald again?
Well, we know what the Herald asked us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Lady Galante will care either way. Her instructions will be to do as we've been tasked to do. We're here on her behalf. The question is, do we think it's worth trying to deal with anything in Wren's Fork where we have concerns of potential innocence, or is it better to try and go for the beast's head and see if we can find where this black ram is in the steam fields?
The steam fields is pretty big, but if we could somehow narrow it down to maybe what region. I think he had like this horn thing on his belt too, if I remember correctly. I could try and track him by that, as long as he's within a certain range of us. Can help us kind of pinpoint which way to go. But
I'd have
again,
to imagine he has other individuals working for him that were a bit easier to notice. The
mhm.
giant variety. So,
What about contacting the Inquisitor and informing him about the Black Ram?
I would think that if the Kingdom of Silverhearth could do something about enemies in the steam fields, they would have.
But he might know something that would give us some advantage or some information.
Perhaps. If we contact him, we will be informing him of Wren's Fork, which will certainly bring down whatever sort of king's wrath a man like the Inquisitor brings down on a hamlet like that.
Indeed, especially him being human and the majority of Ren's not.
Hmm.
We could always we could walk around the city, get the feel, or more so town, and see if anyone here knows anything about the steam fields. I mean, they're a kind of similar distance from each other, you know. Ren's Fork in the steam fields and Orinn in the steam field.
It's true. DM,
Me?
do I know anything about Fort Osen?
Yeah. Fort Osen. Actually, you would have heard about it. Bucky would know it, if that makes more sense. Fort Osen is a kind of a strange Aurelian creation that was made centuries ago when the first human kings decided that their ambition outweighed their area of control and sought after driving the giants out to head further south. The fort itself, many will say, is not occupied, but anyone who is a native to the area knows that it is very much occupied by various forces at any given time. Sometimes it's by satyrs of the grove that are just looking for a stopover, or when they're working to move to and fro from the actual Valorian mountain range, and they use it as a stopover. For a time, there were a number of elven individuals that stationed troops there. There have also been various lizard folk and serpentine races that have called the fort its home, but it's always been kind of a long-standing tradition that the fort itself is friendly and welcoming to any who would call the Aurelian borders their home. That's kind of where the fort stands. It is made of a pure white marble that glistens in the sunlight and basks in the moonlight.
Okay. I do agree that we should see what else we can learn from the people here before we head out. I just have a thought that we could consider, if we didn't want the Ram or anyone who else could be watching the road, we could take the river down to Fort Osen and head north into the steam fields, as opposed to the road they knew we took back.
I think that's a very interesting idea.
Yeah, I like that.
It also presents us another location bordering right south of the steam fields to get more information.
Mm-hmm. I think
The
I
only
like.
other question is, everyone fine with leaving Wren's Fork as it is and just heading straight for dealing with who we would view as the leader of these individuals?
I'm plenty fine with that.
Yeah, after what happened with Colt, we need to deal with the leaders, not the
All right.
foot
Mhm.
soldiers.
Agreed.
I agree.
I think then we should contact either the Herald or the Inquisitor and inform them that that is what we are doing, that Rensfork is under control of hostiles against the kingdom, and we have had to leave it be to go and deal with the leader of that organization, the Black Ram.
Hmm.
I don't know how much help the Herald would be since he just told us to deal with it.
Well, if he knows that we're leaving it be for us to go and head for others, he may have to reach out to other members of the King's Court and how they would deal with it. We'd be basically putting it in his hands to have someone else deal with the corruption in that city while we try and stem off the source of it, versus trusting how we can assume the Inquisitor will handle it, although the Herald could just be more blunt and ask us to do it then. I'm not sure. But I think it is important to inform him before we head out on this.
Yeah.
JJ's kind of scribbling back and forth, trying to figure out the correct wording. So.
Yes, I know I rambled a bit there. I was trying to get the important points, but I know it was far too many syllables.
If you don't put any spaces, it's all just one word, right? Is that how magic works?
Yes.
That's not how it works.
Speak fast enough, no space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, then it sounds like we have a plan of action. Take a moment to try and restock here, get intel, and see about finding a way down to Fordos, and if that seems like a good idea after everything we've learned. Orville, you had a stick. Yes, you
This is the one. Yeah.
said it was special, and your hair, you got a little highlight from picking it up. That's unusual. Do you want me to try and identify it?
You're free to try. This seems to be from the gods, the Weavers. I'm not quite sure that.
Do you know which one?
DM, could I get that name, please?
Yes, hold on one moment, please. Siftos.
Really?
That sunny fella Siftos gave it to me. Yeah.
Well, yes, I would like to identify that or study it for a bit and see what I can learn from it, even if it's a bit beyond simple things. I would consider myself a rather decent follower of Sithos' teaching.
I don't see the
So
harm in
if
letting you
you-
take a look at it. Hand it on over.
I will take it. Is there any historical or arcana relevance to this item?
As far as for like historically that this was like an item that's been like painted or is said to be in the possession of one of the
like-
Weavers. So it gets a bit muddled there. The Realm Weavers by their very nature were creators, and it was not uncommon to see them walk into conflicts and resolve them in a single swipe. Many of those who would see them kind of, not to say play nice with mortals, or those who have not yet achieved divinity, would often say that they would craft items just for a singular purpose, or for just a passing fancy. There's several relics that have all belonged to the Realm Weavers themselves, and it's part of the reason why so many people moved far out to the west area, and part of the reason why Valtora itself as a nation was established. The City of Floating Fortune, as historically said, is often said to be a place that the Realm Weavers stored, or is rumored to have left much of their creations and passing ons, these small trinkets to them, but objects of worldly power to others, as the legends go. As far as for this, it could have been one of any number of items or tools that were at once utilized by a Realm Weaver. But kind of by their very nature, only the races and places that they made were of any kind of continuous notice, to say the least, other than just flights of fancy and like, yes, look at this beautiful thing. Yeah, fuck it, I don't need that anymore. Like, that was just kind of the three of them in general. They didn't tend to dote on many things that they saw as tools.
Okay. I'll try and cast Identify and see what I can learn about it.
All right. Casting it through ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get back a name from it. You pull out your pearl, right? You have your pearl and all that, right? I think you read about that. You pull out your pearl, you move it and kind of roll it down the length of the wood, casting this over the next 10 minutes, and slowly the hums and rhythmic kind of grinding sounds that kind of continue to roll back and forth like a marble against wooden floors of this object begin to slowly peel into a voice within your head that seems to whisper arcane secrets and natures to you. You can hear... What would you assume the inner voice of your arcana to sound like? I'll play it up. Is it really dark? Are we going straight like Crypt Keeper? But what do we want this to sound like? I'm gonna pass it to you as you're the character.
I think it would be more regal.
More regal? Okay.
And yeah, but still kind of menacing.
So we're going Grima from Lord of the Rings. That's what I just heard. All right, got it. All right. So as the rhythm begins to kind of go and continuously beat across this piece of wood, you start hearing this kind of voice, this almost amalgamation of your arcane nature taking vocal form, and you hear, yes, this is truly a marvel. You have found in your possession the flame spear staff, an object of worldly power once wielded by the most magnificent of the Realm Weavers. It would serve any who brandish it in battle quite well, as it's said to be able to command the full nature and force of sunlight itself. Unlocking its overall potential is a secret unto only the Realm Weavers themselves, but surely you're smart enough to do such a thing, Velethil? We are smart enough, yes. This trinket of a bygone age contains with it all of the heroic and burning might that one might need to banish evil or doom those foolhardy enough to call themselves heroes against the Realm Weavers. Powerful magics exist with this, but this is the furthest extent that my power, and thusly your power, can see at this point. This has been a use of the Identify spell. And then and you have this, like, the entire time Vel's kind of, like, rolling this marble on, you guys see this black, shadowy figure with long, kind of reaching hands envelop Vel, and its hands kind of rub across this item, and it seems to have this kind of shapeless hood like formation, and kind of whispers into her ear these arcane secrets. But that's what you get out of it. It does not give you specifics, and you come to realize that much into the way that your Identify spell has determined, this is a relic. It is so far beyond a simple magical item that it almost transcends early level magic and would require something akin to legend lore to truly unlock a bit more about it. You know, it is highly magical. You know that apparently it can command sunlight and fire at a whim, but how to do such a thing, not currently or easily accessible. You do fully assume there would be a need to attune to this thing, but how you even go about doing such, instructions unclear.
Yeah. This is fantastic. Orville, you recovered something amazing. The Flame Sphere staff. If you or any of us could discover a way to use it, bear the power of the sun in your hands, but much with many powerful magical relics, especially, they're unique and difficult to unlock their full potential. You could attempt to attune to it, and that could prove fruitless or dangerous. But you did recover it, so it is in your hands to decide what to do with that. But that is a very, very powerful thing.
Velithil, what do you mean by attune to it? I'm not well versed in the magic-y stuff.
Oh, of course. Certain powerful magics require you to tether yourself, your personal essence, your inner magic to an item. You just have to spend time, around an hour-ish mostly, and focus and reach out to the item and tether it to your soul as it is, to truly unlock its use and its acceptance of you and your acceptance of it. Some items require rather specific individuals, whether that be their skills as a warrior or mage, or their devotion to a particular weaver even could be a block in being able to properly attune to an item. There are many, many, many variables.
Well, I'd like to think I've got a pretty good shot of it, given Siftos came down and said some words to me.
What?
What do you mean, what?
What do I mean? What? The weavers are gone? You mean you actually heard?
Y'all didn't hear that? Oh,
No.
well, when I picked the stick up out of the broken pillar, Siftos came down and I guess, told me good luck with the stick. It's been useful to me, so I hope it's useful to you. Is that an accurate summation, DM?
Yeah, you gobbled the shit out of that. Yeah. I sure, that's accurate for a goblin. Yeah. I mean, you can tell details about anything involved in it, but fuck it. Yeah, you're good. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're good.
Cool.
You're good. Yeah. Turns to Vel. Can I offer you an egg in these troubled times?
Perhaps just because it was created by, and I just kind of start rambling off, like in my own thought, trying to figure out things as I just kind of get lost in thought because of Orville saying shit that blows my mind.
Yeah. You have identified that this is the Flame Spear staff. And again, it's about the size of a longsword. It's not like a staff, but it definitely would be like maybe a bit bigger than like a walking stick for a shorter end human. Like anyone like maybe like 5'5" or lower, it could be used as like a walking stick. So it's not super short, but it's not super long to be a staff. It's just it's a weird thing.
Just don't trade it
So-
for cards, Orville.
I won't do that, Bucky.
Trade it for cards.
Would be a hell of a deck. Also, I might kill you if you try and do that.
I mean, if she can, because she can't duel you anymore. What would you do if you were the only person that could use unglued cards in competitive Magic?
Getting got by my confetti shit.
Suck it, nerd. Going to every going to every PTQ.
So should I try and do that tune-in thing now, or should I do it next time we're all
Innate
resting?
power of sunlight. If that doesn't go well, it could maybe start a fire. We should do that somewhere, not in like a pleasant person's house. If it doesn't like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds quite good.
Because if you're not worthy, as an odd way to say it, and I don't think that you're not, I just don't know what worthy means for this item, there could be repercussions of that.
Yeah, one of those being fire. And let's not do that to these nice folks at home. Let's do it out in the middle of a field somewhere where no one else will get hurt.
Yes. Okay, so we have an important decision to make. Aside from going to look for potions and whatnot, do we want to go visit Calliope's friends?
Oh,
Well, she said one of them was captain, so maybe he's got a boat. Maybe that boat can help get us to Fort Osen.
That's true.
Good idea, Orville.
that is a
But
magnificent
it
idea.
could also just be a title. But we'll never know if we don't go ask, right?
I think she said something about the docks earlier too.
Captain. It could also mean something more. We've run into several people who've spoken in Primordial at the term captain.
Hmm.
And we still don't know what that means.
I think I know what I'm gonna say to the Herald. So, if you guys want me to go ahead and get that done before we get out of here and start looking for stuff and looking for our next move, I can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Alrighty, she is going to sit down and cast Sending to Harold Lemire.
All right. You feel a pulse of energy. You begin to play a small chiming ditty. And as you do so, you can feel with each strum the depth of the bass of every note begins to hang, waiting for a word to attach and be sent on the wind to your destination. What would you like to say?
She says, Seekers here, taking river to deal with black ram and steen fields from the south to behead the snakes and wrens.
Okay, so just 15 or 16 words.
I guess so, yeah.
All right. You send it out. You hear back a response right away, and you hear, "Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I hear you. I've said the same to the Inquisitor, but he is adamant that they should be wanted. We have called their lady." And that's the message you receive back.
Folks, I think something is amiss.
Mm-hmm.
She will communicate what was said
Mhm.
back to her. Good. I'm thinking it's a good thing we did not talk to the Inquisitor.
Sounds like it.
Who
He's
is trained in history in the group?
I am.
high.
Roll it.
$16 here.
16. Okay.
14.
14. Okay.
18.
18. JJ and Orville both beat the DC 15 to recall this information. As JJ regales you back with the not direct response, you definitely get the feeling that whatever the Herald was saying to you was not directed at you, and it was done in a way that most likely was to not give the alert to whoever was in the room that he was in communication with you. But you all had, the pair of you, JJ and Orville, both recall one of the very first things that Baron Maximiliarmo greeted you with at the northern part of Wren's Fork. "Ah, my dear friends, of course I welcome you to Wren's Fork. I heard you were coming. My good friend the Inquisitor made me aware of it."
I think we need to contact Ma.
Yep.
And I think we need to get out of Ravon.
Also, possibly yes.
Would you
If we're
like
gonna do
me
one.
to contact her now, or
What exactly did the Herald say? What was his statement?
let me pull that back up for you. His statement said, "Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I hear you. I've said the same to the Inquisitor, but he is adamant that they should be wanted. We have called their lady."
Okay.
So he wasn't talking to the Inquisitor.
No, he's talking to someone above him.
Yeah, maybe the king.
Mm.
Right. I'm not sure a full retreat is necessary when we could still try, and obviously the Inquisitor and people within the King's Court are compromised. But we're right next to where we would assume the ram, or at least what they're protecting, is here. I don't think we should just run away from that. Even if we deal with it and are wanted in Ravon, we cannot return here after we've at least tried to help them.
Being wanted might complicate our efforts anywhere in Ravon.
Yes.
It does say it seemed like the Herald, because we did let the Herald know, I think, before the Inquisitor got to him.
Yes, and it was good to not contact the Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that they're contacting the lady, right?
Someone is, yeah.
Well, I feel like if we don't contact her, she'll be contacting us rather shortly.
We
Might want to
contact
save your
her.
energy.
I think we take the same route still.
I
Because
think
Fort
so.
Osen is not under the King's control inherently. It is the border. It's the perfect place to set out from, into the Seed Fields. We may not want to introduce ourselves by our proper names, though.
So, Val, should we all just be Colt Honeycutt then? Just all of us?
We're
Just-
all Colt now.
5 Colt Honeycutts walk into a bar.
The Colt.
Quite a way to honor him. We are Colt. The Honeycutt Collective. Sorry. Yes, we should contact the lady. I'm not quite sure what to say, though. Because in the end, if we make our way to Kane's Plummet, and we save the prince, we will have him to defend us from any of these other accusations. So I think we should inform the lady of something. But still, we should just proceed as we've been planning. Although now going to Syrinx may not be a good idea. Actually, it's an awful idea. We shouldn't go to Syrinx. We mentioned that to the Baron too many times.
Yeah.
We go through the steam fields. We deal with what's in the steam fields. We deal with the Black Ram. We head down to try and rest in Isgard Thak before heading to Kane's Plummet, perhaps?
What about the place, the fort to the east of the steam fields?
Being that it is north of the steam fields, I would assume, but I'm not going to assume. Do I know that that is a fort under Silverhearth and the King of Ravon?
For which one? Sorry.
Fort Pale?
Fort Pale is very much under the Kingdom of Ravon. It is the kind of guarding station that occupies much of the eastern embankment for the entirety of the continent itself. Whoop. So it's actually like one of the few places that they still keep citizens in and keep fully staffed for any warnings that could arise from sailors foolhardy enough to assault the Eastern Front, or any would-be invaders that could come from the south, from the Orsinian Hills. Now, there's always been, of course, the act of non-aggression that exists between many of these countries, but many folks of a greener hue will often tell you that if it's for glory and riches, there's very little that the people of Isgrad or Ulgrark would not mind doing. So.
Yes. We should have tried to save him, chance. Alright. JJ, any ideas on what to say the lady?
Yeah, so she's gonna show Vel what she's been scribbling all over on her page. So basically, so far it says, Harold sent us to check steam fields counterfeiting. Sir DeWalt and Ren's Fork seem entrenched with Black Ram, moving forward to handle Ram, and I was going to let her know that Colt is down.
That let her know of the misinformation that's been spread about us, though?
That misinformation would probably be better, yeah. Maybe I will change that into misinformation incoming.
Well, she's already received it. No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
We just don't know what she's been told. The only truth they could try and spin would be that we had killed a member of service in Ren's Fork. If they were trying to put some sort of truth on it, I'm not sure. I don't know what they're trying to blame us. I think the keys would be to inform her of what we are planning to do.
We could be wanted for killing that pixie.
I doubt that, honestly.
Angry Morgan face.
I think the crime and punishment was dealt with right therein.
But if they're looking to pin something on us,
They could pin the
They
wood
could-
elf on us.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
well, didn't he dissolve into a pile of goo?
The Black Ram knows that we
Pretty
killed him,
much.
and he pretty much runs Ren's Fork.
But they could be spinning any yarns about what we've done. That would be the only thing that they could weave from a truth of one of their agents that we've killed that would be presented as an upstanding member of Ren's Fork. Right, we can't go back to Ren's Fork at all now. We just have to try and find the ram.
Well, we don't know that he's in the steam fields.
Ye-
We don't, but we know they don't want us to be in the steam fields. We know that they are doing something in the steam fields. They've
And
been
I'm
adamantly
sure,
trying to prevent us from going there.
and I'm sure if we go knocking, steam field's loud enough, the ram will show up on his own, whether he's there or not.
So if that is a focal point of their operation, or even the headquarters, that is where he would likely be. And that's why my plan leads us there. Headed to stop Black Ram of Steam Fields, who has exerted control and misinformation to the kingdom. I think those are the two most important points to get to her. I would like to include the information about Colt as well. What do you think, JJ?
Yeah, I agree. Perhaps our plans are a little more important at this time. We can. There's always time to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the play?
We're waiting while JJ scribbles.
Yeah, we have JJ scribbling right now. Okay, so this is what I have so far on the new one. So it's going to be heading to Steamfields to handle Black Ram controlling Wren's Fork, local governing bodies, and counterfeiting. We are in hostile territory. I think that's...
I wouldn't even worry about the referring to the counterfeiting.
Okay.
It just seems it's literally trying to conquer parts of the kingdom now. It's much worse than counterfeiting.
Mhm.
Oh, sending spells. Oh, sending spells.
Maybe if you could fit in the question to her of
How do you want
what
to
have they
word
told
this?
you?
Mhm.
Oh, spending spells. Oh, sending spells. How many words do you have? I send you off and waiting back. Hopefully the response is not crap. Oh, sending spell. Oh, sending spell. I really wish I had a phone.
Seriously, the little phone rocks. So good.
Mhm.
All right, so this is the newest iteration, y'all. So heading to Steamfields to handle Black Ram controlling Wren's Fork, local governing bodies. He wants to take over Ravon. What did they tell you? Or what have you been told might be a better
What
way.
have you been told? Either way is fine. Yeah, that sounds good. They
Mhm.
taking over Ravon may be a bit of conjecture. We're not sure if he holds. He's definitely playing a part in it. So yes, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, she will cast another use of sending.
All right. And what do we say? Fully. Go slow.
Heading to Steamfields to handle Black Ram controlling Wren's Fork, local governing bodies. He wants to take over Ravon. What have you been told?
Okay. Now let's see here. All right. Ready?
Yep.
I think I've got this at 25 words. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Okay. Here we go. Ready? All right. You hear the message come back in a crackling bit of voice, and you can hear the Lady Galanti kind of speaking to you. And again, you kind of hear this softness in her voice, this calmness in her voice. And she goes, "My darling chosen, glad you are safe. Pick your side. Trust that I adore you. Regroup in Osen. Seek Agatha. The herald has faith. Fight!"
JJ's just gonna have a smile start growing across her face.
A good message then.
You know, people try to tell us that our employers aren't the best or whatever, but they're, I think she's at heart a good person. Forever. But JJ will communicate what she was told.
Okay. So the message you guys get is, "My darling chosen, glad you are safe. Pick your side. Trust that I adore you. Regroup in Osen. Seek Agatha. The herald has faith. Fight."
Well, instinct was right on where to head then.
Indeed.
Right, so we need to book a boat, perhaps.
We do. Pick your side.
Well, we do know that she's not partial to, a king or anything.
No, she's not.
Anyone trained in insight can attempt to decipher meaning in these words. Go right ahead, JJ.
17.
Okay. You know emphatically with a 17, the Lady Galante is not a being, a person, a royal, a noble that A, puts up with anyone's shit, B, kowtows to anybody other than her peers, and even then she does not do so unless it's extreme distress or she needs to self-preservation. And C, is part of a country that is in a completely neutral area and plays whatever side is the most profitable or will gain the most honor and respect for her weavers chosen. She rightly is not a person who picks sides. She has her weavers do it and then supports you guys, which you can infer from trust that I adore you. And
Yeah.
from the inflection you got on I means that that's her opinion. And like, again, she's not trying to let you think like, oh yeah, we adore you guys. Like everyone loves you. No, she does. Everyone else she doesn't care about. She's never cared about anyone other than her family.
Sounds good.
All right. Difficult to think which side I don't like worse, or which side I like worse. I hate everyone around here except for the people in Orinn. They've been nice.
They are quite kind.
I think we need to consider we have a lot to consider. We'll need to speak to this Agatha.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Mhm.
But we do have to be careful when we head back into Ravan proper. We aren't on the border to the Artemis and the like. Right, okay, so we know what we have to do. Good. Let's go meet Calliope's friends. See about this captain, shall we?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That sounds good. Should we talk to Clyde? Make sure he's all right with her running along and whatnot with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yes, you're right. You've been very insightful today, Orville. Yeah. Right, let's go thank our host once more and see about getting ourselves on our way.
Yes.
All right. You all exit the small kind of common room, the extra bedroom within the fiber hair home. You walk forward and enter into the kind of the open dining area, the entryway to the home. You can see Clyde and Calliope sitting at the table, and Calliope's kicking her feet and like kind of sitting on her hands as Clyde seems to go through what appears to be a stack of papers with like scribblings all over them. And you kind of hear, like as you're walking up, you hear a muttering of, "You didn't carry the two." You look and you can see a rather taller person at the table with them, who stands about a foot and a half taller from a seated position than Clyde. This person has long braids running down the sides of their head. They have a large flattened nose and a heavy stature, big shoulders, and kind of like well-toned musculature across their arms. Adorned in the center of their nose is a massive-looking golden ring. And you see this individual turn and look in your direction, and you hear, "Well, hell, Calliope, these are the guests you were talking about? You just brought in all the little folk, didn't you?" And you hear, "Now, honey, we agreed because they were Weaver's chosen. That I didn't agree to nothing. I was out putting bread on this table, Clyde, and you just invited these vagrants into our home. Now, let's not get too energetic about this. Now's the time to be a bit energetic." And she turns and looks, and she goes, "Pardon me, but did you all enjoy your nap in my spare bedroom?"
Why, yes, we did. Thank you.
"Well, you are welcome. Who are you? Not often I see a satyr."
My name's Buck.
"Buck? Do you have a family named Buck? Or are you a vagrant?"
Oh, I come from Flitwick Forest.
"Flitwick? I know a couple of thieves and shamans out in Flitwick. You one of them?"
Yeah, you might say that.
Fitting. Well, Calliope, at least they'll be interested. They are rather interested, Mama. I could tell you, they're rather interested. And you see this woman kind of turn. She goes, "Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Buck. I'm Urena. Urena Fiberhair."
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
You've been enjoying and sipping so mightily fine of my husband's hospitality, bless his tender heart. Might I assume you all are going to be compensating us for all the damages you likely rolled around in?" And Clyde goes, "No, they didn't. Honey, they did not damage anything. I'm sure they're too small to..." "Don't you make excuses for them, Clyde. These adventuring types, they'll run you out of house and home, eat all your eggs, and steal all the bacon. Let me tell you what."
We would be honored to compensate. You have been so helpful. Your family has been so wonderful to us. I would gladly pay a fee for this delightful reprieve that we were in such need of.
Reprieve? Well, she's got herself a number of platinum words in that sentence. "Who might you be, miss?" And you immediately, Calliope interrupts and goes, That's Valithil Downvey. She's an elf from far away. She's got a missing arm that she lost to something. I think it was a troll." And she goes, "Is that right? You lost your arm to a troll?"
Something like that.
"Well, I'm so sorry about your loss." She turns and looks at the rest of the group, and Calliope points each of you out and gives your name before you have a chance to introduce yourselves. And she kind of like looks, and you see Urena kind of like looks to you all and goes, "Well, now my daughter seems to be awfully smitten with you folk. I suppose I should ease up on it. We don't get too many visitors these days, and well, my soft husband often is right about these things. He's got a sense about them." And you see Clyde kind of just like real low in his shoulders, just like, whatever you say, honey. Yeah, you're starting to get a honey-do list out of this guy, and start to understand why Clyde is as slow to speak as possible. But she kind of eyes you all up curiously and goes, "All right, if you didn't mean no harm and you're willing to compensate for your intrusion into my domicile," that's my platinum word, miss, "then I do suppose no harm, no foul or feather." All right. And Calliope's like, "See, Mama, then they can stay with us whenever and they can tell us all their stories." And she goes, "I did not agree to that. Clyde, what are you letting her know?" "I'm doing her math." And he's just like sitting there just like trying to like red circle where Calliope is just atrocious at her. Like, it's just bad. There's probably more red marker on this document than there is like Coal pen anywhere on it. Like black ink is just like a few dashes here and there, and you're just seeing big red circles and like notes in the margins. And she turns to you all and she goes, "So, how long you all be staying here in Orinn?"
Not long.
So we do have to get back on the road, or hopefully the river. Honestly,
The river. Well, it would be your best bet if you're trying to skedaddle out of here as quickly as possible. I'll say this of you. You seem like nice folks, and I apologize for flying off a bit of the handle. It's been a long day at the docks. I tell you what, if you need a place to stay, my home is your home, provided that you don't boss my husband around too much. You can boss him around a little bit. And Clyde kind of goes, well, honey, what'd you... No. The adults are talking, honey. Now, we'll make this deal that you all can stay here, provided on 2 conditions. 1, you keep Calliope's nose clean if she decides to follow you around, because she is a bit able to do so, I will say. And 2, you cause no trouble with my home, and you don't bring no trouble to my home. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, because I will not make my homestead a sty for the likes of you short folk.
We appreciate that, ma'am.
Oh, you better. And she kind of straightens up a little bit and adjusts. And she's wearing like this very heavy set, kind of like sleeveless jerkin, this like leather jerkin that's been like intricately tied and dyed. And while it's like a bit more like roughnecked than you'd expect from the mother of the home, you definitely are learning very quickly who the breadwinner is in their family, and who the kind of scholar versus muscle is of their group dynamic. Those of you with insight are immediately picking up who Calliope's hero is. More so as you'll know that the majority of her name is vowels.
Well then, shall we be off? Did we have questions?
I'd like to ask something of our gracious host here, if she don't mind.
Mr. G. Lee Judd, you may speak.
Indeed, thank you, miss. You said that it was a hard day down at the docks. Do you happen to know a captain that could help us, as you say, skedaddle on out of here?
There's a number of captains out here. We're a lake-born town, my little friend. So all through Lake Loria, you get a number of people that come up through the autumnness. They sail up that southern river to reach up to us. Hell, the lake's littered with different boats and various ferrymen and con artists, tall and high, and a number of people that need to load and offload cargo. It's actually a bit of what the business I'm in. You'll find any number of would-be sailors, especially if you're looking to seek either northward or eastward. There's always a full few hardy folks you can convince for a handful of coin.
You ever met a fellow named Trenton Quass?
Trenton Quass? Yeah, I've heard of Trenton Quass and Quass Quest and Expeditions. You friends of his?
Well, we've had dealings with him in the past. Just
How much does he owe you?
Oh, nothing at the moment.
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones. You ever see Mr. Quass, you make sure he comes pays us a visit. Our doors are always open for Mr. Quass.
Oh, okay.
seems to leave most places very welcoming to him now, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Quass has a bit of a reputation here at the docks of Orinn. Oftentimes gets a number of laborers such as myself to help him load or offload a number of his goods. When it comes, especially wintertime, he tends to scurry his little rat ass around here. Pardon my Elvish on that one, Calliope. And she, like, Calliope's like, ooh, because her mom said ass. And she kind of looks back and goes, his reputation is that he often will speak of great grandeur and winning victories, and then proceed to skip when payment is due. He is a individual I would love to get my hands on and wring a few platinum pieces out of.
Well, that's mighty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How much does he owe you?
Whew. Just me, or for the rest of the workers?
Dare I even ask how much for the whole whole system?
If I had that number, trust me, here, I would not be living in Orinn any longer. I'd move somewhere much nicer. But
Yeah.
overall, from what he owes me, whew, after everything we've done the first time and then snuck me on the second one, oh, he's in at about 30, maybe even 40 gold pieces. Last time he came through here, he loaded that little ship of his from tail to caboose. And you like think about it and you're like, that's 2 butts. And like Calliope's like, Mama, I think tail and caboose. She goes, excuse me, the adults are talking, Calliope. And she goes, yes, Mama, I'm sorry, Mama. And like Calliope like sits and immediately sits on her hands. And she turns and looks at you, and you see this big kind of like golden nose ring kind of flaps a little bit. And Mama Furbolg, don't play this shit.
Well, we were actually about to head out onto the town and see what else y'all's wonderful city or town or whatever y'all prefer to call it
Mm-hmm.
has to offer. Are there any ground rules throughout the day? Would you like us not to come in at a certain time, or perhaps be back by a certain time since you are a gracious host?
And she thinks about it, and she goes, well, I don't mind much the door flapping open and closed, provided you close it with a bit of grace and respect. And she turns and looks, and she goes, honey, when is dinner? And Clyde goes, well, I had thought we would do potato porridge later this evening, as it feeds so many people, maybe a little bit past sundown. She goes, that does sound nice. All right, you can come back this evening, but if you miss dinner, don't bother trying to sleep here. I'm not going to have you interrupt my beauty sleep. And also, if you come back and you don't bring me at least a couple of chickens to make that potato porridge just shine and sing to the heavens, you're going to enjoy sleeping on my porch.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad we have an understanding.
Well, then, one last thing before we head out. You wanted compensation? How much can I offer?
I don't know. How much can you? I know that you weavers chosen, according to Calliope's books, are, as they say, loaded with wealth that you would like to disperse among the local populace. And she looks at Calliope and she goes, did I say that right? And she goes, yeah, Mama, you said it real good like.
Well, that is very true. And I will set down a single platinum, hand it over to her.
You set down a single platinum and you see her kind of like get taken aback, and she goes, how long are you all planning on staying here?
Oh, at most one more night, but for such a fine establishment with such kind hosts, hardly enough, isn't it?
She kind of gives this big toothy smile, and she goes, Calliope, for once I agree with you. These folks ain't half bad. And she takes the platinum piece and bites it to make sure it's real. And then she kind of looks it over and she goes, you folks just handed a week's wages to me. Honestly, my house is open and my doors are open still. Maybe you can come in a little bit after supper if the day takes too long for you. And I'll make sure Clyde cleans the blankets. That way you have something fresh to lay your heads on.
I thank you ever so much.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, you don't bring no danger and no trouble to my doorstep. That must stay the same.
We would be gone like the wind before we would ever allow such a thing to come here.
Good. Well then, I thank you, and I very much enjoyed this meeting and understanding that we've seen eye to eye on. And she kind of looks at Clyde and she goes, anything to add? And he goes, no. Calliope got 20 points out of 100 on her math. She goes, well, that's a huge improvement, Calliope. I'm proud of you. And she goes, thanks, Mama. I almost got all my digits done. She goes, that's real good. Now, how have you done with your lifting? She goes, I lifted a lot of heavy stuff. I had a bookcase, and I started trying to lift just the bottom. And she goes, that's impressive. And if you can get that over your head, you're on your way to being a dock worker, honey, and that's good money. She goes, I know, Mama, but I'm going to be a Weaver's Chosen. And like her mom goes, oh, child, don't even start on me about this Weaver's Chosen nonsense. You see these people? Look how run down they are. They had to stay in our home the other night. And she goes, but Mama, look how much money they have. And she goes, what? No, you're right. Okay. Fair enough, Calliope. If you bring that kind of money home, maybe I'll see to being all right with your choice of vocation. And you hear Clyde slowly butt in and be like, but if you can't do math, you're never gonna be a Weaver's Chosen. And she goes, I don't know if I believe that much horse shit there, Clyde. Don't lead her astray. And she turns and looks at you and goes, how many of y'all don't know math? She looks around. No, everyone knows math, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And she kind of like just waits, and she goes, not, well, Mr. Buck, you're from the South. You don't, how many satyrs really learn to count?
Oh, well, pick some things up on the road.
How about that? The road just teaches you numbers like that?
Well, gotta count. Gotta count while you're doing things.
You really don't. They just point you at the stack of things they need loaded or unloaded on the boat. They point towards the boat. You take it, you go.
Also, have to count all this money that I have.
Huh. Is it? And she like leans and you hear this kind of like groaning of the table as this very tall, very like beefy, high strength furball woman leans forward to you and goes, between you and I, Mr. Buck, exactly how much money do you make in like a year?
Oh, quite a bit.
What's quite a bit?
Thousands of gold pieces.
Is that thousands with an S?
Yes.
Thank you. And she leans back forward and she goes, Calliope, you're being a Weaver's Chosen, and that is the end of it. We're going to get you on the first ticket northward. You're going to that fancy deer city up there. You're going to be a star, darling. They're going to not know what to do with you. She kind of looks around and she goes, you all will sponsor her, right? Like, what? Don't you work for some fancy noble or some such?
Yes, we do.
All right,
We
then.
do, but there's actually a new group of weavers up there now that are being heroes and glory.
Oh,
With
that's
some
it.
money on the side.
That sounds good, Mama. Heroes and glory? She goes, money's got to be on the table, not on the side. That's how they trick you, okay? I don't know. Tell you what, and you see at this point, now her mom is very invested in her daughter's future. Urina kind of looks to you all and goes, and she pulls your platinum piece back out, and she goes, if I handed this back to you right now, on the guarantee that you give a good word about my daughter to your employer, would we be square?
You know,
What if you just you take Calliope with you as an intern?
Can I field this, JJ? Hold on, no.
Yeah.
It's firstly, no, you would not need to pay us back for what we owed you, for what we've already agreed upon here. And your daughter is very young, and she still needs to learn. She still needs to get stronger. And it is only in her reaching her potential that she can then one day head to Darewoods. And we did not all go there our own. It is part of the journey to reach it after you come to the conclusion that that is what you want with your life, and you've reached a state where you can bring yourself to be a Weaver's Chosen. But on the day that I see your daughter arrive, I will look to my lady and I will tell her that I know that she has the potential and should be in her service. And I don't need that point back to tell her that. but she has to work towards reaching that, and she's not there yet.
Give me a persuasion check. As again, to this mama, she's like, my daughter's the best. I know what you're talking about. Like, she'd kill a troll.
16.
All right. Let me see here. All right. You kind of give this through, and like kind of like speak about it to her, and you see like this realization kind of come through and go, it's a journey, and you pick up things on the road, and you learn on the road. All right. Very well then. I'll prove to you that my daughter will arrive at those gates, and you are going to open up them fancy elven lips of yours and tell everybody that my daughter's the best gosh darn Weaver's chosen that's ever done being picked.
I look forward to that day.
Is there something higher than a Weaver's chosen? She's that. She kind of just straightens her jerkin, and Clyde just like, honey, they're just, it's the same thing. She goes, no, she's better than regular. And he's like, yes, dear. And he kind of just like, all right. Because he doesn't want to like argue about a compliment to his daughter. He's not going to argue to his wife.
Well, I don't know if there is, but I look forward to seeing your daughter grow into becoming that. Better than me. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. This has been... What's the word for it, Clyde? Good? No, the one mean and bright. He goes, illuminating? She goes, yes, illuminating. This has been rather illuminating, and I do appreciate y'all's time. I'll see you for dinner.
Of course.
All right, then. Make sure the door don't hit you on your way out. I had Clyde put a little hook at the top so the door stays closed and doesn't let all the wind out.
Thank you very much. We'll start to make our way out.
Mm-hmm. You guys start filing out. As the last of you leaves, you see this little like cranking sound of the door, as there is in fact like a chain and like a spring that kind of moves forward. Yes, Orville.
On our way out, can I like stop and ask about bringing Calliope on as a guide around the town for the day if she's done with her schoolwork? As
you're asking, she's already following you guys. Like she, as far as she's concerned, she's done. Her tests are being graded. Like you are walking, and like she's just whoever's last in line. She's like right on your heels the whole way. So the moment you stop, she probably bumps into you, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were going."
Oh yeah, no, let's carry on. You know the way around town better than any of us. Why don't you lead? Hey guys, would you be all right if Calliope let us around?
Sure.
She knows the town better than any of us would.
Yeah.
Lead the way, Calliope.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, right this way. And she like immediately chest out, like struts, and her mom kind of like turns and looks, and she kind of like does the like mom at a soccer game thing where like she like taps Clyde. She goes, look at our little baby. First day out with Weaver's Chosen, she's already leading a whole group of them. She's going to be a champion, I'll tell you that right now. A Weaver Elite. Is that a thing? He goes, I don't think so. He goes, well, she's going to be it. They'll have to invent a whole new rank just for her. And then you guys leave hearing her mom just absolutely just thinks the world of Calliope. So yeah, you guys exit into the city of actually it is technically a town/city. It's a trade city over Orinn. You note the area you're in feels very much like a almost modern kind of cul-de-sac. There are a number of houses that are all intermingled in this area right on the outskirts of the city, and housing is very, very populous. There are a number of people that love to call Orinn their home, and a number of people that grow roots here. It is, again, kind of a border city and kind of just its location. It's far enough away from Ravon to avoid many of its laws, taxes, and government, but still close enough to enjoy the benefits of a safe area to put down roots. And it's northern enough from Aurelia where, again, same thing. You don't have to deal with any of the local governments, traditions, or spooky satyr druids that might assault you. And and you still get all the benefits of a lush green hillside that is all provided by those more fey-leaning and artisanal races that kind of make up that country and community to the south. As you all exit from the city, Calliope leads you all from the kind of residential area into the main thoroughfare. You note that the city is a very large, spacious, open area that's been hand-laid stone all the way through the ground. You see a large kind of almost like a sluice that runs throughout the city itself, a kind of an underground channel of water that you can hear kind of rushing through underneath your feet. That's kind of allowed these kind of bars and grates. You note that probably this city would have a chance to flood if there's ever a really big natural disaster, but the way it's set up is just allowing much of the stone and city itself to cool off as it goes through. And Calliope turns to you all and she goes, now there's a lot of buildings and there's a lot of people to meet in here. I suppose we start with, oh, well, hey, can we, I don't want to be rude, but I kind of wanted just to follow you guys because, well, it was the thing to do and I was bored, sitting in the house all day with numbers. Can we get something to snack on real quick? I'm hungry.
What's your
I don't
favorite?
see why not.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, yeah, let's just go take this break then. And wham, look at that. We got a good transition and everything, kids. Got it in one. Yeah, hey, so welcome back, guys. All 5 or 6 of you that are still watching. As always, if you're staying with us for second week after the break, I like the way to say that, you are a level 20 character, and we appreciate you. So yeah, only level 20 characters stay after the break, so we appreciate you. It gets super late, so I don't feel bad, but, you know, like everybody, thank you for the support. Yeah, before we went to break, we did some stuff, but let's go ahead and do the YouTube cut. Hey, YouTube, welcome back. It was like 3.5 seconds, however that cut's going to work out. Before the break, the group met with Calliope's mother, came to a number of realizations through the sending spell, and got in contact with a number of important people. And now they are currently being guided through Orinn by Calliope Fiberhair, the young, precocious daughter, Furbolg daughter of Clyde and Irina. So yeah, that's where we're at. We last left for break. Calliope led you guys to a small vendor just outside of the kind of area for 2 copper pieces, whoever would like to mark it off. You guys are all given what amounts to a very old piece of driftwood that has been impaled into a piece of like well-cooked and seared meat. The vendor is a kind of older, ailing, kind of almost looks like an iguana individual with a kind of rolled out tongue and kind of one wonky eye. And here, Calliope, who are these people? Just, they're Weaver's Chosen. They're pretty important. They're kind of a big deal. You should really be thanking them for even stepping by here. He goes, Thank you for stepping by here. Hey, whoever wants to mark it off for 2 copper pieces is what your total comes to. JJ says, okay. You hand the 2 copper over. He looks at it and goes, well, your money is good here. It's good. Oftentimes I have to feed this little one scraps. She never has any money. It's not my fault. I spend it all at the saloon. I tell you about that all the time. He goes, you're wasting your money at that saloon. She goes, well, that's where all the best stories come out of, is the saloon. So, what do you know? He goes, children, keep an eye or two on this one. He kind of just like, meat, fresh meat. He kind of like starts waving off, and Calliope is like chewing her beef stick. You all get a salted beef stick. The meat, if you eat it, does not taste anywhere near fresh at all. And Calliope even comments on it, and she's like, he says fresh meat, but like, I don't ever have smelled anything fresh that came out of that cart. It's good, but like, it's good because it's free usually. And she puts her hand on her hip and kind of just, so where do you guys want to go? I mean, we could go north, south, go to the docks, go walk around there. We go to Tim's house. Tim's got a lot of cool stuff.
Anywhere we can buy potions?
Potions? Like, oh, you mean those like elixir thingies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Like, you could probably find somebody who's selling them at the docks. Or you can go to Lewis. Lewis is real cool. He's got all kinds of magical stuff.
Does he sell them?
I think so. I mean, I've never bought one before, but he's got a bunch of them.
Okay.
Well, even so, if he doesn't sell them, he'll know where to get them.
Yeah, no, Lewis is good people. He usually just tells me to scram without actually like, raising a hand to me or nothing. Real nice guy.
Does he run a shop?
Yeah, well, he has like I think it's a storefront, but it's kind of also his house. So he's local. He's a real nice guy. People always go and see him and they're like, this thing you sold me, this, that, and the other. And I was watching and I go, wow. I've always told him. And I said, Lewis, when I finally leave this place and make myself into a Weaver's Chosen, I'm going to buy one of your sharp things. I think they're called swords. Yeah. But he cuts his swords. It's really weird.
What he cuts them with what?
He's got like this little stick that's got a weird, it's the real hard jewel. It's like clear and it makes rainbows. A diamond. Yeah.
Sweet.
A diamond. Yeah. He's got a diamond, stick that he carves into his swords with. And, he's got all kinds of them up on his wall. He's got all kinds of like leathers and stuff that he just draws on. He might be an artist, honestly. I think it's pretty magical.
Oh.
Does sound like he could be an enchanter.
I mean, he she looks around. She goes, he does get a couple ladies in there that do say he's rather enchanting. So you're not probably far off, Miss Velethil.
Perhaps we should pay this person a visit.
Sure.
I like the sound of that.
Mhm.
I think we'll want to try and find what we can today. I'm not sure that we'll want to be here in the morning. I think it's best we keep our pace quick.
Well, I'll lead you right to it. I won't lead you down any weird alleyways or nothing. He's not that far. He's like maybe 2 blocks, 3 at most.
Hi.
Wait.
No weird alleyways.
He might be 6 blocks. Hold on, wait. It's not that far. It's really not. You know what? I don't know why we're dealing with numbers right now. That's stupid. Let's just go, and then we'll be there when we get there.
I see your math skills working.
I got a 20 on my test today, so...
Out of...
100.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how far 20 is from 100?
No, it's pretty close, I heard. Mama said she was real impressed.
Yeah, I heard it was getting better, so... I'm sure you can get a 30 next time.
Is that higher than 20?
It is.
Then I will get it next time. Anyway, let's go. And she takes her stick and throws it in a trash can. You know, there's all these like little metal bins that are like all there. And it's weird. There's like a weird looking like sign that almost looks like a blue cloud with like weird scribbling on it, and it looks like this like cloud is pointing at people, and it says like "Don't litter or I'll find you," and it's just like this like weird looking like little sign next to their trash cans. And she's already like halfway down the street, and she's like, "Are y'all coming? Are you just gonna sit and gawk?"
Yeah, wake up.
Yep.
Oh.
She just told me.
She's natural leader, that one.
I'm playing, and she's like already humming a tune to herself, and you know she like starts skipping along. Much to your surprise, it's only like a block away. Before she stops, you come to this big kind of like wooden formed home that sits just right off of Central. It is a very well-constructed house, and it actually is made out of heavy set logs that have not been cut or cured. So it definitely has like a fortress vibe to it. There are a number of large kind of like overlaid leather pelts that have seemed to be stitched and woven together to make this kind of like very easy looking, almost lakeside hut. And you hear like kind of barking from inside of two people like, and she goes, "Here we go. Here's Lewis's." And she walks right up to it. And you know, there's a big sign that says Grivaldo Enchanting Incorporated. And she looks up and she goes, "Yeah, see, he's an enchanting fella. I guess that makes him a ladies' man."
You might be right.
Oh, I usually am. I'm what you might call bright.
No doubt.
I didn't think I gave you any reason to doubt, but okay, thank you, Mr. Buck. Anyway, and she whips, like, just, like, yanks the door open, like, you hear, like, a thud, and she goes, "Lewis, I'm back!" And you hear, "Oh, great, little girl again." Like that. As the sunlight peers in, you guys start following behind Calliope, who's just chest out, like, marching in places, like she owns everything, as children are wont to do. You look and you can see this, like, very well stocked and decorated shop. There are a number of, like, handmade wooden, like, short, about, like, waist-high to chest-high counters that all have various bits and bobs. A lot of swords hang on the wall, shields and armor, various makes and models, all with heavy-set, ingrained-looking runes that have been drawn across them. You see a kind of rotund man sitting there, well-dressed, and kind of on the other side of the counter, standing front and center of this kind of shop behind a table, is a blonde-haired man covered in tattoos, looking of a kind of a far-off and foreign look, and he looks like this.
Whoa.
He goes, "I'll be right with you. Hold on a sec." He goes, "So what was wrong with this?" You hear, "My good sir, you sold me this dagger stating that it could turn the tide of battle." He goes, "Of course, it tells all kinds of turns." He goes, "Turn the tide of battle. Get these marbles out of your mouth." He goes, "Don't have a marble in my mouth. It turns tides, is what it do." He goes, "Oh, sure. It didn't help my man. He was nearly killed wielding this thing. It barely made a difference at all." "Well, your man used it wrong." He goes, "What do you mean my man used it wrong?" He goes, "It turns tides." He takes this dagger up in his hand, and he pulls out a wineskin and pours some water on his desk and waves the dagger over it, and you see the water slowly rise up and then turn into an ice cube. He goes, "Look, I turned tide right there." And he goes, "That imbecile told me..." He goes, "So, like I say, there's no return policy. You buy, so it's yours. I'll buy it back, but not for as much as you give me." And he goes, "No, this is fine. I'll just... Thank you." He goes, "You're very welcome. Take care. And close the door on your way out." And you're noting the door's like swinging open from you guys walking in. Like Calliope just like marches everyone in, not giving a shit about closing and opening doors. You see this kind of like haughty, rotund man kind of like, "Oh, well, fucking just turn the tide about, of course, choice of words." And he starts huffing out. And you see the door close. You see this individual turn and look at you. He has these kind of like piercing yellow and red, kind of intermittent fiery like eyes. And he turns and looks at you, this open coat. He goes, "Hey, little girl, you bring many friends, very older friends. Who are they?" She goes, "Oh, Lewis, these are Weaver's Chosen. They're kind of a big deal. I know you probably don't know anything about Weaver's Chosen, but they're the Seekers of Gulanti. It's a pretty big deal. Gulanti is a diamond lady." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I've heard. Raging bitch. She raised the price of a number of different material goods over the last 10 years. Real piece of work, that one. I hear she's tall, though. I would like to bed her." She goes, "You want to lay in bed with her? That's really stupid." He goes, "Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. Anyway, hello, people."
Good day.
Is it a good day? I've not been outside yet.
It's better than the last.
Is it? Yesterday
For
was
me.
pretty good. Oh, for you? Oh, okay, I apologize. I thought we were speaking in generalities. In general, it was a pretty good day for me. I made many golds. So, what brings you in here? You a, how they say, shelf shopper? Like a Calliope here? She goes, "Well, it's only because I don't have any money. There's this really nice knife," and she points up at the wall, and you see this like really beautiful looking dagger with a bright emerald like sat in it that kind of matches Calliope's like normal wear. And she goes, "One day I'm gonna buy that." And he goes, "Maybe you'll save up all of your copper coins you might be able to buy one day, but most likely not. For the rest of you, though, Seekers of Gulanti, the tall lady, yeah, welcome. I am Luis Corvaldo. How can I help you?"
Looking for potions of healing.
Potions of healing. Yeah, I have a few in stock, but you probably, if you're looking to really stock up on them, you probably want to hit somebody up in the docks. Right now, he turns and looks, and he goes, "I've got about 4 that I could sell to you. They're at the premium, though, so it will be a little expensive for you. 35 gold pieces a pop."
35 a pop.
Yes, I know it's above market, but it's what I have on stock, and supply and demand is what it is, you know?
What do y'all think? Should we get him here or try to go to the docks?
Considering how things have been, we might want to buy them here and see what else we can get at the docks.
Yeah.
Calliope kind of looks you all over, and she goes, "Oh, there's a ton of really good folk at the docks. I've met a couple of the newcomers. They're pretty nice people." He goes, "The little one, she likes to chat. Her and her little rat friend, they squeak back and forth. If you head to the docks and you want a good, fair deal on a potion, I recommend you look for Rainwave. He's a nice fellow. Not very good at cards, but overall, a nice individual."
Oh, that's much appreciated.
You're welcome. Slide that over here.
What does that what is there anything extra special about that dagger Miss Calliope wants?
And she goes, "Yeah, look how pretty it is." And he goes, "Oh, yes, it's very pretty. Yes, it's a gin dagger. It inside of it is well, it's a form of air elemental that has been trapped within the jasper. If you buy it, you effectively have a best friend for the rest of your life, if they don't try to kill you first. It's, again, no refunds if you do buy.
And how much are you selling such a thing for?
Well, for you, I say 2,500.
Reasonable.
I try to be, thank you. And Calliope goes, "Is 2,500 not that bad? I always thought that was a lot of money."
It is quite a bit, but for what he says that's a reasonable price.
Oh yeah? Dang.
Also, be a dagger filled with gin, based on this guy.
He like you say this and he like looks you up and down. He goes, "That would be a good dagger." He takes and he like kind of reaches under the counter. He goes, "But I already have solution for this." And he sets down this kind of tall, almost like glass in his hand. And he sets it down on the counter. And you see there's all kinds of like small scribblings and like runes that run the length of this glass. And he holds his finger to it. He goes, "Fill beer." And you see this small shot glass kind of fill with what looks like fresh beer. He goes, "Please, try."
Bucky drinks it very quickly.
You take this like shooter glass and you do like a double shot of beer, and it's cold, it's fresh, it tastes great, and it's pretty standard like an ale. And he goes, "Glass of ever-filling ale. If I wanted to sell you a dagger that made you full of gin, I could do this. The gin dagger, very funny, but not the market for it. These glasses, I sell them to almost every tavern. Every tavern owner that come here, I sell them a whole set. Keeps costs low, keeps customers happy. If the glasses get stolen, that's their problem, yeah?"
That would be a problem.
Your tattoos.
Yes.
I've heard tell of arcane tattoos. Can you do this?
Can I do this? I mean, he looks down at his chest and he goes, "I mean, yeah."
Those are arcane tattoos?
I mean, yeah. And he like points to one on his chest. He goes, "Soul." And he runs his finger over it and you see the tattoo light up as if it's like a torchlight. He goes, "It's pretty common where I'm from. Soul." And it extinguishes. He goes, 1 minute. Horns, you give my glass back, yeah?"
Bucky hands it back.
He goes, "Hey, thank you."
How much for that?
For this? Just one? I sell it to you a dozen. For a dozen, I get 1,200.
I would just want the one.
Yeah, okay. Normally, I give you a deal on, but if I had to break a set, 150 gold.
That's tempting, but I think I need to buy some potions.
Yeah, suit yourself. You know what make you feel better? Being drunk about it.
You're not wrong about that.
Again, I am not the wrong guy. Why do you assume that I am very wrong guy?
Where are you from that tattoos like that are more common?
Far from here, western. Have you ever been?
Far west of here?
Yes, you leave western out of the lake, further south, a long place known as the Lagersi Coast. I hail from a very small port known as Vasha. Lovely town, but a bit more difficult to do business there. Many people want to pay for things with violence. If you're looking on your map, it's the southern coast of Valtora is the Largasi coast. Past the Bay of Offerings is Port Vasa. Or Vash.
The just west direction threw me off.
Yeah. To him, it's just west.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can I do thing for you, or if you want the potions, as I say, all four of them, each one 35 gold for you folks. If you want a better deal, I recommend you go visit the guy, Rainwave. He's a bit of a peddler of alchemy and a number of things here. I mostly do enchantment, but every so often we get people that sprain an ankle or twist their leg, and they need an emergency, and they're willing to pay the premium. Yeah.
Right. I am curious how much tattoos like those would cost.
Yeah, it depends on the tattoo. What do you want done?
One that would provide protection, arcane armors of sorts.
Arcane armor? Oh, like what was it, the mage coat? Yeah.
Well,
Is
there's that one's a spell, but
Yeah, mage coat. It's like a first level, first classification of spell. Defends you,
Yes.
gives you a arcane ward. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I have that. He goes and he like pulls his jacket back, and again, this guy, every square inch of him is just covered in these crazy runic tattoos. And he turns and shows you his back, and there is this like massive collection of runes that form this like very long sea serpent from his waistline all the way up to his shoulders. And he goes, everything here in the head of the serpent, armor. The scales, unbreakable. And you see, and there's like glittering in this this tattoo of his. There's like, you can tell there's like some type of, not only the ink, but some type of like gem dust that's been tattooed and hammered into every scale of this serpent. It was a very good deal, eh? He throws his coat back on and turns back around. So I could do this for you. Provide you with the money.
How much does it cost?
Well, have you ever had a tattoo before?
I'll just turn and show my head with the tattoo that rolls across to the back. Yes, I have.
Vanity. Okay. Yeah, well, good. So you won't cry too much. For materials, my time, everything in, I'd say 5,000 gold, eh?
5,000.
Yeah.
All right. I will hopefully get to see you again in the future, because I don't have that on me right now.
Oh, okay. That's understandable. So we're doing business today? Hey, and he like calls out and he goes, you put that down. And she goes, what? I'm just looking. He goes, you look with your eye, little girl, not with your hands. And she's holding like a battle axe in her hand, and she's like, fine. She puts it back on the wall. It's like, always with the trying to take the things, eh? She's like, I was just gonna borrow it. He's like, borrowing is stealing. He's like, where I am from, they would cut your hand off. And beat you to death with it. She goes, that doesn't sound like a fun place. He's like, well, that's why I left.
Well, maybe we'll go check out the docks, but I'm sure we'll be back if we can't find what we need and whatnot.
All right. Well, all the same, good to be meeting you.
We don't have all the time in the world, so actually we'll be taking one of those potions.
I'll pick it up. I've already got it marked off on my sheet.
All right. He takes the 35 gold, exchanges it for a potion. And he keeps potions like behind the counter because they're glass goods. He doesn't want somebody to like drop and break one. But yeah, he counts out the 35 gold, scrapes it over, hands you one potion that's like corked. It's got a kind of the bright rosy looking liquid. When you uncork it and smell it, you can smell that kind of salty, heavy, kind of alchemical stench that there's no mistaking it as a potion of healing.
Does anybody want to add that to theirs? I don't really care to carry it.
Or are you? Oh, I was gonna. So you're just covering the price is what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll carry it then, because I was gonna buy one
Okay.
here. So. Yeah, right. Thank you, Orville.
Of course.
And Mr. Gavaldo, hopefully I'll see you in the future sometime for a bit of ink.
Of course. We can do many fun things together, eh?
Quite.
Very good. For the rest of you, you need anything else?
Not at this moment.
All right. Well, if you do, give Geraldo a call, eh? Except, I will say this. If you send to me, and it is late in the evening, I will find you, I will break your neck, okay? Geraldo likes his sleep, and I don't want any of you fancy wizard types sending Grivaldo any type of messages or love letters late into the evening. I know how I look, okay? You're welcome for the view. No romantic poetry in Grivaldo's ear when he sleep.
Does that happen all?
He's like, this way I got this. He points to it, and there's a bird like tattooed in runes on his neck, and he lightly kind of runs it and he goes, Irisu. And as he says so, the bird kind of like starts very slowly like flapping its wings and goes, while it's on, no one can contact me. Quiet, peace. Problem gives me terrible nightmares. Sometimes worth it.
Seems like an odd trade.
Yeah, you say this, but by the looks of you, you're used to odd trades.
You're not wrong.
Yes. How'd you get that arm like that, eh? Did you do that yourself?
Had a little help.
Oh, yeah. We all have a little help from time to time, eh? No shame in it, Viking.
Right then, if no one else has any need of Mr. Grivaldo's time, let's head to the docks, shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Before we leave, Vale, do you think we should ask him about the stick? He might be the type to know that sort of thing.
You have a stick?
Well, yes, we have a interesting stick. Would you happen to know the spell Legend Lore?
Oh, I know legend lore. Look at this. And he holds his hand up, and there's a book that's been tattooed on his hand. Goes, identify. And he holds the other one up, and there's like a beautiful siren woman that seems to be singing. Goes, legend lore.
Well, Orville, it is your stick if you would seek the knowledge from Mr. Grivaldo. How much would a casting of Legend Lore cost?
Well, it depends. If you don't mind, I tell people you have this thing. I'll cut you a deal. If you want it to be between you and Grivaldo, 500 gold pieces. But information is worth its own stuff. And I don't want to, I don't want to pretend I'm not a chatty Cathy, eh?
Quite understandable. I heard you're very sociable.
Oh, yes. Many callers. And you hear, my mom says that he gets catcalled all the time. He goes, yes, in a way of speaking, yeah? And she goes,
Tabaxi can be very ravenous.
That's what I said. I mean, honestly, he should just get a water bottle. They hate water. He goes, that's not how... yeah, okay.
Oh, Orville, it's up to you.
Orville only has like 300 and change in his inventory, so we need to figure that out one way or the other.
Would anyone else be willing to donate to this cause? Because if not, myself and Orville could handle it, but I will be very, very below on funds then.
How much did you say it was?
500.
500 for Legend Lore plus silence.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind Grivaldo talking around, I'll cut you a deal 250. But sometimes people want to know where things go, yeah?
It would help if we're really wanting to know.
And as you guys are like debating this, like you see Calliope walk up and she goes, well, it's just a stick. Like, why are you paying so much gold for a stick?
Sometimes very mundane things can hide very great secrets.
Okay, well, now, can I hold the stick?
I give Orville a look of like, no.
I don't think that's safe, Calliope. I really, really don't think it's safe for you to touch such a stick. And Mama said we have to keep you safe first and foremost. So my hand to your mama and my honor on the table. I can't let you. I'm sorry.
Fine, whatever. She kind of like walks around the shop.
I'll put 100 towards it.
Me too.
You want to mark
I'll
off the other 300?
three. Yeah.
Okay. So you count out the gold. Luis Grivaldo takes the stick, looks it over, he goes, all right, so we're clear before I do anything here, yeah? I will identify your stick. I will legend lore your stick. Even if there is nothing to learn about this stick, I still get paid. I still say, I don't tell anyone you have a stick. If it is something important or something ridiculous, I will tell you as much as I am able to remember for my siren. I promise you at the very least, I will discern something about this. In the event it is something magical, and it is something that can be discerned via divination, I will tell you everything I can, but if I am unable to at least tell you something you don't already know about it, I will refund you a portion of your investment, huh?
Fair enough. I've already identified it, so
Alright.
we have that information.
Alright. Well then, let's start here. And he kind of waves his hand over it, and you can see the kind of like bright white reflection of a various kind of cavalcade of colors seem to encircle the left hand of this man. He waves his hand over the stick and begins to mutter to himself, and much in the same way, you see like a kind of like white wispy shadow of this kind of long-haired, almost platinum blonde woman kind of lean forward and giggle and like move his hair around from his ear and begins to whisper into his ear. He goes, oh, okay. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. He turns and he goes, all right. You say you only identified this before, eh? So you don't know how it works. Is that right?
Correct.
You know who made this, right?
Yes.
You know how many people would pay to know that this exists?
Assuming 500 isn't enough anymore.
No, I'm assuming you got a deal today. You're welcome.
Indeed.
Yes. But, as they say, fuck the churches, huh? He kind of, like, looks through, and he begins to wave his other hand, and goes, everything else I'm going to learn now, you do not know. So at the very least, we are guaranteed that we're square for the 5, yeah?
Indeed.
Good. Man of my word. He starts kind of waving his hand. And this one, you see this kind of like cascading blue and like sapphire light erupt out. And he kind of like immediately begins to conjure this very tall, like size large woman, and it is very much a siren. Topless from the waist up, long flowing tail. You guys feel a cold breeze of water wash through the shop. This kind of like beaming blue light begins to kind of cascade in a crashing kind of sound, and you see her giggle and like begin to whisper this kind of strange, almost nonsensical Aquan language to him. He goes, oh, mine. All right. Well, thank you, baby. And he turns and she smiles and kisses his cheek and then evaporates as quickly as she came. And this goes on for, again, I'm simplifying, but for the length of a spell, it takes time to conjure this, that, and the other. But just hurrying it along so we don't spend all night in very cool descriptions of how this guy's magic work. He kind of looks at you and goes, so we have here, as you know, my friends, moment. And he rubs his neck and you see that he ignites the bird. He moves to his back shoulder and kind of slowly like rubs his shoulder, and you see a light begin to kind of erupt from his shoulder. And then he kind of points for the door, and at the very edge of his finger, you see what looks like a lock tattoo kind of click and become locked from almost like a padlock from being unhooked to locked. And you hear a click from his door. He goes, all right, so let's talk real quick. As we know, this is the Flame Spear staff. I'm not going to talk to you like you are stupid. Eh? You don't treat me like I'm stupid. Yes, we know this is a relic from, how you say, the Realm Weavers. How you find this, I'm assuming has to do with the fallen star we saw earlier this morning, eh? But you don't have to confirm that for me. Just an assumption and hunch I have. And he kind of rubs his forehead, and you see this kind of bright, like third eye erupt out, and you see him kind of have like this moment of clarity, and goes, from what I can discern from my siren song and from what they've legend and lored about it, this was used in a great war far into Artnum, The defeating of some type of... I'm not quite sure. The legends speak of some great beast of the moon's blessing that was nigh indestructible until it met the fire and frost of the Flamesphere staff. Now, the flames themselves are a bit of misnomer. Being that they are from the god Siftos themselves, it is a duality god. This item itself is caused with duality. In the light of the sun, it burns brighter and hotter than any fire you will ever know. But in the light of the moon, it will send a chill to your very core. And thus, you will instead have the cold spear staff. It is much in the way of the mask of that one, From what I can tell, it is light, it is able to be finessed, but it is not exactly a weapon, so to say. In fact, there are 2 key words that you must speak to have this ignite. Words thought lost to history, but you're welcome. I have found them for you. Rather, my girl has found them for you. You must attune to this, my friend, at the light of the sun itself, out in the day, and you must convene with it in such a way. Okay? It will not accept anyone who is indoors. In the event that you are attempting to attune indoors, you'll be sitting for hours, Just go outside. It won't be that hard. Once you are attuned to it, provided you are accepted, it is a bit of a moody weapon. Sail. You will have yourself a light lance of sorts. The staff is possessed of a number of powers that allow it to conflagrate the beams of light into pure fire or pure ice. If you speak these key words, these magic words, so to speak, in the light of the sun, the staff will call in and draw the power of the light and sun. It'll do the same for the moon. Once it is activated with these words, the staff will be wielded as if it is like the weapon on the horseback, with knights jousting, lances. Yes, it'll function as if it is a lance with the, again, still being a stick. It doesn't have the need for the weight or what have you, yeah? Light as a feather as it was wielded in the battlefield. If it's done during the day, the assumption is that it'll be encased in fire. If it's done at night, it'll be encased in cold. The winter winds, so to speak. Additionally, it has unknown and untapped potential from which I am not able to see. It was said that Siftos themselves was able to call down massive flaming spheres upon thine enemies on the battlefield. But the description does not allow any type of knowledge of how to accomplish this heroic feat or legendary thing. From what I am being made aware of, more than likely, there are a number of conditions of worthiness for this item, and should you meet them, you might unlock additional properties. But for now, that is the extent of my knowledge. Are you satisfied with your purchase, sir?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. I'm going to write 2 words on a piece of parchment to you and give them to you. And you will never repeat these words in my store.
Are they the keywords for...
I'm not answering that question. And he tears a piece of parchment and writes down 2 words and folds the parchment and holds it and gives it to you. Because, truthfully, the less I speak out loud, the better.
Now, when you say inside your store, I assume you also mean next to your store outside as well.
I will break you, little man. I don't care what you're carrying in your hand.
Okay. Well away from your store, yes, sir.
Honestly, well away from everyone, It's a very dangerous thing you have there. And if anyone who is a worshipper knows you have it, woof. Thank goodness it just looks like a stick. But if you're brandishing it, there will be no hiding what it is. Of that I am assured. And you hear Calliope go, "Get out of town, it does all that?" And you immediately realize Lewis is like, "Ah, shit, the kid's here." It goes, "Little girl, we were just lying. We were trading in a game of lies." And she goes, "No, I heard all that. It's like a fire stick and a cold stick and a magic stick." He goes, "It's not, it's like, it's Fugazi. It's a bunch of crap. I don't..."
It's It's for LARPing.
Yeah, for what the fuck is LARPing?
Calliope.
What? No, hold on a sec. What is LARPing? What sick shit? No, you know what? You don't get to say that weird shit in front of a kid, okay? That's really messed up of you.
It's pretending that you're heroes. It's a big fun pretend game where you get to pretend that you have magic stuff,
Oh.
even when you don't.
That is, I was thinking of BDSM. Okay, yeah, no different. Okay, that's fine. And Calliope goes, well, I do that already. I want to be a great hero. I pretend to be like you guys all the time. So can I borrow that stick?
Calliope, remember how I told you the story about the thing that I couldn't speak of?
Sure.
Well, you're on your way to being a Weaver's Chosen, are you not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With that, you must carry more responsibility than ever as you walk with us here, as you aim for your future. And in our trust of you, you have heard about something grand and something that should not be spoken of lightly. So, can I have your promise as a future Weaver's Chosen, as you are destined to be, that you won't speak out of this thing?
Give me a
'Cause
persuasion
you know
check.
that it's dangerous.
100%. 100% persuasion check.
Yeah, 20.
20. Okay. She kind of looks. She looks at it and she's like, "Wow!" And her eyes light up and like she knows something special. She goes, "All right, you got a deal, but on the condition we stop at the saloon
Why do we have to stop at the saloon?
because it's awesome. And also, I'm still kind of hungry."
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll stop at the saloon.
He goes, "Oh, the fucking saloon. Ugh." And she goes, "Oh, you said a word?" And he goes, "It's my story. You piece. You're right. I should not say word in front of the child. My apologies. If I be reasonable with you, that saloon is a nut house. Bunch of crazy people work there. I don't know how they smile all day long without dying."
Well, I just made a promise that we'd stop there, so we'll at least see his insanity.
At least I don't have to go. All right, well, have fun with that. You need anything else? Maybe armor, or a really good case, or a last will and testament?
We really should get some of those, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a notary republic. I can sign all your documents for you.
We'll take it into consideration. Thank you
Alright.
very much.
You have yourself a good day. But remember, when you think of good deals, think of Grow. He kind of like smiles and like wishes you guys a good day. So yeah, breaking it apart, just mechanically, Orville. The flame spear staff currently requires attunement that must be done during a sunny day, specifically by a Weaver's Chosen. Okay, it is a magical, one-handed staff, lance, finesse, light weapon. And does not require proficiency with any of those things.
Okay.
Okay. As a bonus action, you speak the two words that he's written on the parchment for you, which are Pura Ingus, or Ignis, which roughly translates to pure fire. When spoken, the staff can be called upon to draw a single bead of light from the sun during the day or moonlight at night. Once activated, the staff is wielded as if it was a lance without the two-handed property, dealing 2d12 fire damage if summoned during the day, or 2d12 cold damage if summoned at night.
Alrighty.
And much as to what has been already alluded to, there's some type of conditional that he's not quite sure what it is. Just that the legends do speak that it can be used to summon balls of fire in ice. And he's just not sure. The legend lore doesn't speak of how this is accomplished, just that there are additional functions of this thing that there's no like, because the way legend lore kind of works is that if it has ever been spoken about or recorded in history and it exists somewhere, the spell gives you the information from somewhere. This has not been seen, recorded, no one really knows. They've heard the words be spoke, so they know that much is true, at least within the cognitive of reality. And they know that it can do these other things, but they have no idea how that's supposed to work.
Gotcha.
All right. With that, are you guys exiting his store?
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie dokes. Boop. He bids you farewell. You guys exit onto the street. Calliope looks you all over, and she goes, "Well, that was cool. All right. Where to next? Are we going to the docks, or saloon, or we could go all over town. We go to Tim's. We go meet. We go to the tavern. I'm not allowed technically in the tavern, but sometimes Captain sits outside and gives me all kinds of fun stories to listen to. He's real smart."
What time of the day is it so far?
It's like later into the afternoon, nearing evening. It's like
Probably hit the docks first.
probably like 4 or 5.
I was gonna say, let's hit those docks real quick, and then we'll take you to the saloon. I think, right, Bill?
Well, we don't want you eating too much before we get back home for dinner. You know that, right?
Well, sure, but a deal's a deal, miss.
I know a deal's a deal. You're going to eat your dinner, right?
Well, of course. I mean,
Good.
it's potato porridge. Of course I'm gonna eat my friggin' dinner.
Sure.
Like,
Look at you filled up on other things from the saloon and the vendor over there. You're getting quite a day out.
I'm not quite sure how elves eat, but I'm real hungry like all the time.
Grown girls gotta eat, Belle.
We also need to bring back a couple of chickens.
That is
Sure.
true.
Will
We
we
gotta
be able
get
to find chickens at the docks?
Oh, you can find all kinds of chickens at the docks. You find white chickens, red chickens, chickens with 2 heads, chickens with 3 heads, chickens that breathe fire. I saw one once. It was crazy.
All right. We'll head to the docks. We'll get the chickens. We will see what we can find for passage and better deals on potions if Bucky wants to still find some. And then we'll see about making a quick stop at the saloon and then heading back for dinner.
All right. So off to the docks.
Mhm.
All right. You all start making progress. Calliope immediately starts skipping and running and smiling and laughing the whole time, heading towards the docks. It doesn't take much time at all. The city, while large, is rather spacious and open, and most people try to give people some room. Many people here are travelers and out-of-towners that, again, try to give as much respect to the people of the land as possible. But before long, you find yourselves stood outside a massive, and I mean truly massive, the majority of the southern part of this town is docks. Like the entire southern edge is just row to row. You can see lines of small ferries, boats, and rowboats that are all docked at various sections of the dock. There are a number of people kind of yelling and barking orders, making sure things get loaded or unloaded. There are people patrolling, making sure paperwork's handled for it, and kind of orders being kept. Out from what you can see further south, as you start leaving kind of the main thoroughfare, there's like a row of stone stairs that lead down towards this dock area. You can see clear into Lake Luria, and you can see just rows of masts. It's like watching the Gasparilla Parade in Florida. There's just a pile of boats that are all somehow not crashing into each other. It's magical. You reach the docks, and Calliope goes, "All right, so what were we looking for again?"
Renwave?
Rainwave and chickens.
Oh, Rainwave. Okay. I think I know Rainwave. He's the red fella, I think. Yeah, hold on, right this way. And she starts kind of hopping around. And then she gets like 3 stalls down and then stops, and she turns and looks, and there's like this rather tall looking individual clad in tall, like very long covering blue silks and a bright silver mask, in a kind of like almost like a turban design that's kind of been folded over. She goes, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Rainwave." And you hear and a long kind of cloaked hand and a whisper of the wind kind of points in a general direction. She goes, "Thank you." She starts skipping along. She said, "Right this way. I found him." And she goes towards the southeastern end of the dock before stopping and pointing. And you hear, What do you want? And she waits for you guys to catch up. And then you guys want to do or just motion on along?
No.
Rainwave.
As we're walking down this, because I'm not really looking for anything to buy anymore, I'm kind of looking for anyone who looks like they're trying to find people to charter. They're trying to find passengers or set sail or anything.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Could I help with this?
Sure, go right ahead. You guys can roll at advantage or each roll.
I just love roll at advantage.
Okay. Vel, you can roll at advantage.
Well, that's a 19, so that's a 26.
Okay. Being the DC is 2 or above 1, you note there are a number of what is effectively referred to as travel agencies that are all like, hey, sail the southern rivers. Hey, sail the eastern river. Head north for the winter. And it's a lot of these like tall looking boatswain kind of individuals like orcs, and you see a couple of people that are furbolgs. You see a few people that are like almost like full humans that are tattooed and pierced up, and a few of them look very piratey, but they have these big cardboard like cutout signs with arrows, and it's like Eastern River Trading Company, like come visit us, like we'll sail you where you need to go. And it's a bunch of like people like all barkers and screaming like, hey, do you want to travel? Hey, take a brochure. Winter's coming, but the wind, the kids would love to see some snow, and like people are just like trying to bark your ear off the entire time. Like there are more than a couple dozen people that are all in the traveling business that are happy to take your money and happy to get you where you need to go. Past that, you guys heading up to Rainwave's booth?
Yeah.
All right. You head up and you come around the corner and you see this large kind of like it's a small table, a wood frame, and like an overhanging tent that's been kind of laid wide open. You see an individual in bright kind of silks, a large turban with a red feather, dark red skin, and heavy tusks. And you hear this kind of jingle jangle sound, and you can see on this guy's feet these immaculate cowboy boots. And you see this individual. Boop. And he kind of looks out in your direction and goes, I reckon what I do for you.
Good afternoon. We're looking maybe for some health potions and whatnot, healing potions.
Yeah. Who tells you that I have these bowel potions, little varmint?
Mr. Lewis, up in town.
Mr. Lewis.
Grivaldo, I think.
Grivaldo, yeah.
Oh, you Grivaldo friends. Oh, of course, apologies. Some people ask all kinds of questions, and you get all these little doggies that come by and they say, hey, let me talk to you. I got you. My friends, don't worry. You're, as they say, home on the range. Yeah, I thought potions. What did I get you for? 2, 3 dozen?
Dozen, you say?
Yeah. He's like he turns and he has like these big like wooden cabinets that have like a small kind of like covering and then a lock on them, and he pulls out a key from around his neck and unlocks the cabinet and opens up, and you can see there are like crates. And for everyone who's looking, if you are trained in perception, go ahead and actually Morgan specifically. Morgan, roll perception. We're just gonna cut to the chase on this one.
This is a terrible idea because I'm still exhausted.
That's great for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's still an 18.
18. You look over these crates, Morgan, and they are official crates. You'd recognize these in a number of situations that you had the opportunity to potentially steal healing potions. Though the cool thing about them is that this design and the way that they're packaged is intended for military use.
How much per potion are you asking?
Per potion? I don't really like to do per potion. I want to sell them all together, eh? So I sell you by the crate load, which is about a dozen. Baker's dozen. Technically, you get one for captain, and then you get the rest for the platoon. But don't worry about this, my friend. So yes, I'll sell you a whole crate. A deal of the day. Let me think here. He looks you up and down. Give me just a straight charisma check, Bucky.
Sure. It's gonna be an 18.
18. Goes, I like you. I like the cut of your horns. You remind me of a bull. I tell you, I give you a crate for 300 gold. That's 12 potions plus one extra. Buy 12, get one free, as they say. I am they. I say this.
Don't have 300 gold.
Well, I reckon then you don't have no potions, friend.
How much you got?
I have 113.
That is much less than 300.
Yes,
And you hear
it is.
Calliope in the background go, is it? Seems kind of close. He's not even close. Yeah.
Well, without cleaning myself out, I could put down another 100.
I can
You-
put 100.
Are you hard up for coin?
It's just been a long road so far, if you know what I mean.
I can understand long road. I have a question for you then, if you will allow me it, huh?
Sure.
You don't seem like the typical mangy sort of people who live in the city. You're, hey, because I say what I say. Tell me here, would you want to make some good money?
I would be open to hear your proposition.
Of course, here's my proposition. I will proposition you, but not in the way you want, okay? Yeehaw. All right, so here's how it works. There's a individual at the end of the docks. He owns a warehouse. He's been here a while. Apparently, he's making a big move, a big play pretty soon. If you were to disappear him, it would be good for business and everyone involved. There's a number of bounties that are available internationally that I would like to collect on. So if you brought me back his head, I of course would give you diplomatic immunity for this thing, and I'd cut you in for 50%.
Diplomatic immunity for killing someone?
Yes. Technically, so long as I show my paperwork and where I am from, they cannot technically do anything to someone who is of Valtora mercantile royalty, being that from Voltiris, and of course my noble standing, there's not much they can really do to touch me, and being that you'd be working as my agents, I would vouch for you, Plus, I'd cut you in for half.
Bucky's gonna gesture 1 second.
Oh yes, take your time.
Turn around. Do we even want to take this serious, or should we just try to get the potions and go?
We can afford it. We split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of hoops to jump through. Find this fella, disappear him, bring this man his head, make sure all the diplomatic boxes are checked so that we don't have nothing coming back to haunt us. All in the span of time it takes to get to tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no.
I believe
like
you
a
can
lot.
do it. There's no hoop at all. He's got the door.
We also
You walk in.
promised not to bring any trouble to the doorsteps around here, so I don't think we'll be causing any trouble.
Well,
Be
you go in through the
wise.
window, then you avoid the doorstep. Let me tell you this. If you did this for me, everyone around here would know. They'd thank you for it. This guy's a piece of shit criminal. I tell you
What
this.
is he wanted for?
Oh, what isn't he wanted for? Murder, more murder, stealing, embezzlement, attempting to buy foreign lands. Probably a number of things for black magic. He's a real tough customer. But if you were interested, your payout for half, 15,000 gold pieces.
Could we ask the name of this fellow?
Yes, his name is, he leans in very close, is Yetzukalis. Specifically, and he looks around, he goes, Yetzukalis, plague of the Sun Mother. But being that Orinn is a neutral free city, no one is willing to move on him without just cause. Also, he's kind of a psychopath, I'm not going to lie to you, but you seem like tough people.
Can I ask, like, what he looks like?
Yeah, he's got a very wide set head, scales, piercing crimson eyes that'll stare into your very soul. But he's a real son of a bitch. Word is, he's in negotiations with some type of nobles here for, I'm not quite sure, a castle? Some type of defensive structure. No one really knows what he's up to, but he's fucking up the market. And on top of all of the evil shit, of course, he's one angry orphan. Sorry.
One angry what? What now?
Hombre. He's a word from where I'm from.
Ah. And you said he's a lizard folk?
No, he's not a lizard folk. He's like a reptile. But he's very tricky. He likes to talk too. A number of people that have come to assassinate him before, typically leave, or are never heard from again. I'm only offering this because, well, you look well equipped, and you seem desperate enough for the money.
I'm not sure, but I'll do this just because I'm going to ask if he's that infamous. Would I be able to do a history check?
Sure. Go right ahead. Yeah, either one of the two you can make a history check. Pick who you want to roll it, and it'll be depending on what you get. You can roll at advantage, or you can each roll, and I'll give you based on like what Vel would know from history or what JJ would know from like Bartok.
Do you want to roll separate, or do you want to one of us?
I think you probably have a better history than I do.
I'm far smart.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll with advantage. I'm not gonna be upset.
Okay. Go right ahead.
That will be a 24.
All right. With a 24, you have actually heard of Yetzukalis. Yetzukalis is a infamous and truly infamous individual who has been known as the Merchant of Death. They are an individual that has sold weapons of like biological origin to a number of warring countries and small city-states throughout the last several hundred years. Specifically, Vel, with a 24, you know that this is an individual who was almost the reason why all of Aurelia fell almost a century or so ago, from selling and dealing with what was considered to be now outlawed biological weapons that specifically targeted elven individuals. He was attempting to sell them off to the ruling council of Kragmaw within the swamps of Ilzur as a defense against the elven arcane abilities. He has been driven out from nearly every civilized area, and his claim to fame for being the plague of the Sun Mother actually has to do with the far southern city in Valtora's very peak, known as Sun Mother. It was said that within the sun-swept valley, he unleashed a plague of poisoned locusts that completely decimated that entire city and brought the death count to over 90% of their population. And he did so within a night. It is throughout history, there has never been a single nice word said about Yetzulkalis. There's never been a nice word written about him. Or them, rather.
That is a truly despicable individual.
Yes, as I say so. And again, he's here, but I do not know for how long. I have heard number of birdies tell me, ones that are still alive, they tell me that he's been ponying up and making plans to meet with a number of highfalutin individuals to the north. For what, I cannot say, but no good for sure can come of it. Again, the people here seem well enough as he's paid the right pockets, and they don't seem to want to move on him, but I don't think anyone will miss him if he's gone. And I think, if anything, a desperate, well-armed group like yourself, get in, get out, be done before dinner, eh?
One way or another.
One way or another, you'll be done, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like we'd still want those potions just in case.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me a persuasion check, JJ.
You
said 17?
Yep.
Because you agree to do this, I'll give you the crate as an incentive to get you started. An investment into seeing this brought to justice.
That is mighty incentive.
Of course. But if you skip town with it, know that you will have earned my ire, and I will send for you.
JJ's gonna turn the bell for a second.
No hard feelings on that. It's just business.
The fact that he mentioned he's been this person's been.
You become a mumbling thing?
Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
JJ remembers that her mic has sound suppression because it's fucking expensive.
Yep. The thing that kind of struck me a little weird just now was he said that this person's talking to folks up north.
Yes, not just
So-
this individual's history and everything that he's done, and even to my home, we can only presume who he is likely dealing with, and I think it would be wise of us to nip this in the bud.
I agree.
Yep. How does Mr. Moore? How do y'all feel?
I feel like such an action is something that should not be taken lightly or brought into the fiber or Furbo friends.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
we
No,
won't. bring it to them.
I don't feel like we should
No.
be bringing that to them. So I think we should
If
go
And you-
back for
if we
dinner.
are-
If
if
we are to do this, we should go back
Mhm.
for dinner. Make it seem like everything's normal. Come on out at night and be on our way down the road as soon as we're done with it.
Calliope in the huddle goes, yeah, no, rule number 1, no one tells mama.
Calliope,
Calliope, that means you too.
Oh, no, I won't tell her, don't worry about it. And she looks over and she grabs a knife from Bucky's belt and she's like, let's get this guy. He's a bad dude.
I think Bucky's gonna snatch the knife back.
Hey, I was borrowing that.
Don't want to hurt yourself.
No, I was going to hurt that guy. 15,000 gold pieces, we could retire before we even get started. I could be an instant retiree. How about that?
it's not about the money.
What? Well, why not?
It's about legitimately doing something good. And yes, we gain a financial benefit, but we have enemies, truly wicked people, who this person may be involved with, and even in this person's history, they are someone who cannot be taken lightly, and you are not ready. And we all promised your mother, who none of us are willing to fight, because I legitimately think she will tear someone's arm off.
Oh, she's done that
if
before.
Yes.
Mhm.
If we were to put you in harm's way. So you could not join us on this. Because you...
Fine.
Well, yes, very good.
But I want the whole story when you get back doing it.
You'll get your story.
Oh, what if you need to get like, what if you need a cover? I could be your cover girl. I could like be like, oh mama, the potato porridge. Oh, the rat stick. It gave me the indigestions. And then I could cover for you guys, like real loud coughing so you get out the door and stuff.
I don't think we'll need cover.
I want to be involved.
We'll go to
I'm
deal
part of
with
the
this
team
and
now.
All right, you can distract your mother, but
All right.
we'll
I'm the
likely
best
be on our
distractor.
way after we handle this because we will not want to risk any of this individual's associates
All right.
following
Per-
us back to your home.
Perhaps we should hire a boat ahead of time and have them ready to go after we do this.
From
I
what
like
I
that
could
idea,
tell,
Bucky.
there's always going to be a boat here ready to take us.
Oh no, Bucky! But I think what Bucky's saying is that when the deed is done, the first thing we're headed for is the docks, and then
Yes.
down the river and out the way.
Yes.
And if
I
we
like
have
that.
to go through talking to somebody to get a boat ready, and then have them pack up their supplies and whatnot, we're standing around for a little bit of time while people start to
Well,
sniff
we're
out that this
going to go
very
through talking
important
to
person's
someone.
missing.
which would
Well,
be
if you want
you,
someone
Mr.
trust-
Renwave.
You want to talk to me?
Could you, as part of this arrangement, once we handle it late in the evening, arrange for us to have a ship to take us eastward?
Ship to take you eastward. You mean throughout the river? You're trying to go
Yes.
into Aurelia?
Towards Fort Orson.
Oh, Fort Orson. Yeah, be very easy. I think I know a friend in town. A captain, in fact, of his own ship. He's been a bit of a drunken lout for a few years, but I think he would really look at the opportunity as a good breaking point, and to get him to stop saying his ridiculous stories.
Well, then how does that sound to everyone? We'll be able to come back once we've dealt with it, finish our arrangements here, make sure all the diplomatic immunity is in order and the payment is to be handled, and then we can be on our way.
Yes, I like that.
All right then. If you do this tonight, I will call my man, and I'll have the captain waiting for you at the dock. You hand me the severed head of this monster. We'll go our separate ways, and I make sure a chest full of golden and platinum trade bars are yours, for your fair share.
And we take this crate of healing potions as a down payment.
You take that with you right now, but you gotta shake my hand first, buddy. Deal's no good between two guys unless there's a handshake.
Shall we?
After you?
Do you want to do it, or should I? I suppose I'm
Yep, go ahead.
the captain here.
You're a captain? All right then. He reaches his hand out.
That's the deal.
Yeah, I do not shake your hand like that. That's your left hand. You only do things the right way.
Well, as you can see, I can't really do things the right way.
Then you can't make a deal the right way. Someone else will have to make this deal for you. I am not doing superstitions today.
Looks like JJ's offering a hand.
All right then. He grabs JJ's hand and like shakes it very firmly. He goes, "You do this, you're heroes throughout the way. I will ask your names only after you return. I don't want to have to remember who I sent to their deaths. Again."
That is fair.
Yeah. Well then, fair is fair. He goes into his cabinet, he slides out, and again there are like two rope handles that hold this crate together, and it's been nailed shut. And you, as he sets it down on his counter, you hear the kind of clinking of glasses kind of go against the kind of like walls of the crate. He goes, "One crate healing potion, yours to take for the investment that you get that monster, and see that justice is brought to the entirety of the Everwield, eh?"
We shall.
Good. Well, then we will speak no more of this. Until you return, successful heroes, eh?
Indeed.
Certainly.
Good.
Oh, were we affirming? I thought we were speaking no more of it.
I like this.
JJ's gonna kind of look around and see if there's anyone kind of like eyeballing them.
Yeah. No check. You look around. The merchants to the left and right of you are eyeballing this interaction and are like very positively smiling about this. Again, you get the sense, and those of you trained in insight, that like this guy's not lying, and he's very open about anyone who will take the money to kill this dude, he is for. And you get these very easy sense seeing people like stare in like your general direction, like with these almost like small fleeting ambers of hope in their eye, that somebody brings this absolute monster to justice.
Cool. I was just trying to see if there's anyone like maybe from Utzkalis person's crew that might be watching, looking, all that kind of stuff.
You don't see anyone who matches a wide set head, like lizard folk description. He, as you guys go through there, he goes, "Oh, before I forget, the west end of the docks, you're looking for warehouse 4. Oh, and don't just burn the warehouse down. We survived that before."
That wouldn't provide a head, now would it?
That's very true, but I'm just saying.
Alright. Let's go get some chickens and be off.
You want to go 2 booths down? Delicious chickens. I had one
Thank
for
you very
lunch.
much.
It was good. Yeah, you're welcome. So you head from the stall of Rainwave. You make way down where he showed you for as little as 2 copper per chicken. You can buy as many chickens as you'd like. They'll get 2 of them, so 4 copper pieces. You get them tied up, strung up, and thrown over your back. They are fresh, and they kill them in front of you. And you understand that they kill them when you buy them. That way you can't just make more eggs and breed them. They want to make sure like they're not going to sell themselves out of business. You get that, and you guys are partly on your way. As you start to head from the docks, is there anything you guys want to do here at the docks before we head from here? No?
So
As you guys begin to head from the docks, Calliope stops and she goes, "The saloon! We gotta go to the saloon! You guys promised the saloon."
Yes, where is it?
"Oh, it's just this way, right up here. Hold on. Follow me." And she starts running, her absolute, like, as fast as her legs will take her, to kind of, like, flip, flop, and starts running as quickly as she can. You guys soon find yourselves like right outside of this very like colorful, we'll say colorful building that is adorned in like bright rainbow paint that's been well dried and repainted over again. And with that, you see a long kind of long named title with a big kind of like brass sign and a big smiling like face that's been carved into one side of it, and it looks like you can see like kids coming and going from this saloon, and the title that hangs over it says Sea Salts and Sunday Saloon. And she goes, "This place is the best. It's like the absolute best." And you look out on the outside of it, and there's red and white banisters. There are a number of like small etchings in the glass of this double glassed area. You're looking legitimately into a ice cream parlor / Chuck E. Cheese type place for kids.
All right, well, let's be quick here, because we do have to get back for dinner.
"Oh, I'm getting the double sundae." "Okay." And she walks in and like immediately runs in. You hear bing, the bell rings. and you see these. There are two individuals with very tall, kind of like curly hair, that sit at the far end of the bar, and they're scooping ice cream cones and kind of moving things through. It's brightly colored and like rainbow. And they're two gnomes that are dishing out all kinds of ice cream. As you guys walk in, there are a number of booths and small tables that are all set up. And you see an individual approaches you in a very ill-fitting outfit. It is a very tall elven man who looks to be full high elven in nature, has scraggly hair that looks like he's brushed it out a few times, but there's like dried ice cream parts that's been stuck in his hair. He's wearing a sailor's outfit, but more like a Scoops Ahoy sailor's outfit that's clearly sized for like an XL or maybe a 2X for a gnome. And he's wearing these like shorts that kind of look like Mickey Mouse shorts, with his thighs pudging out the bottom. His midriff is completely shown. He's got this tiny shirt on, and he comes in. He has these dark circles under his eyes. He goes, right. Welcome aboard, new guppies, to the Sea Salts and Sunday Saloon. I'll be your, Captain of Convections, buddy. And you hear from the back, the two gnomes go, "Oh, come on, buddy. You can do better than that, friend. Put some joy into your heart." He goes, "Yes, it's truly, I'm just all of the joy. Do you want a table or a booth?" He's like head fully like slouched, like just seems burnt out. Vel, you recognize this individual actually. There's not a single noble elf who would not recognize Bartholomew Iridin had they ever seen him, as he's been banished for the last 600 years for failing to broker peace between the Yuan-Ti tribes and the Elven people.
So this is where you ended up?
I'm sorry. And he looks in your general directions, like now actually paying attention to you, and he goes, "Do I know you?"
Not directly, but you would know my family.
Your family? Oh, were they the nice couple that tipped me a copper coin the other day? Thank you so much for that. It meant the world to me. I almost had fresh fish for once. And you know, this is a man who never had a hair out of place, always immaculately dressed, was always ready for court, always ready to talk to people, and is just working full-time at an ice cream shop for kids.
My name is Belleville Dowenbay.
His eyes like wide and open. He drops to one knee immediately. He goes, "Your Majesty, I am terribly sorry. I did not recognize you and your entrance. Please, I will show you to the finest booth that this establishment has. Of that you can rest assured. I am so sorry. Is your father here too?"
No.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Oh, praise be.
You can relax.
Oh, okay then. He stands back up and he goes, "Well, sorry about that." And he grabs a bunch of like these plasticky, like laminated menus. He's like, "Right this way then. We will have you seated." And like he's smiling, and you can tell that he's one of those people that's frowned for so long that he's got those weird marks on the side of his lips. But he leads you to like the far end to this like this booth, and you see that there are other people sitting there, and he goes, "Sorry, your check was covered by the establishment. You need to leave. There's rats in the kitchen." And they go, What? We're not done, bud." He goes, "There's rats in the kitchen. They had fecal matter all over this. It's dreadful. You need to go." And they're like, "Oh, well, we got to cover our check." He's like, It's been covered. You need to leave. It's terrible. You'll get the runs eating here." And he goes, "Oh, well, okay, well, I mean, kids, let's go." And you see this like halfling family and like their kids all file out of this really nice reupholstered booth. And they're like, "Well, you just go to the front and you just complain and just say that you've never eaten in a worse place. Whatever, just leave. Just why are you still here? I'm like, okay, kids, let's skedaddle. And they like walk out, and he like sets your menus all down. He like wipes down the table really quick, and he like sets the menus all down and looks it all over, and like, oh, he like like wipes like one little thing on the booth. He goes, oh, your booth, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
Calliope goes, wow,
Calliope, we have a booth.
I've never seen such service. This is great. And she just like hops on in, and she goes, I want the double sundae. He's like, I haven't asked for you. And he like looks like he's about to mouth off to her, and then like looks at Vel and goes, a double sundae, of course, with twice the banana. She goes, 3 times the banana. It won't fit in the... No, we'll figure that out. Yeah, okay. Logistically, though, there's no way I'm going to get 3 bananas in a single super sundae. We'll figure it out. I'll use toothpicks or something. All right, please have a seat and let me know when you're ready to order. And he kind of just like looms there and hunches. And he does the thing of like a server, if you've ever been to like an IHOP really late at night, and you're the only table that server has, where they just stand there and stare at you until you wait to flag them over to order. That's what he's doing.
Vel, are you royalty?
I mean, yes. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, it's not really that big a deal. Let's not make a big deal out of it.
It's a huge deal. And he walks back to the table, his ears like half folded down, and he leans forward and gets right in JJ's face. He goes, her father once saved me from getting sentenced to death, having my head cut off because I sneezed during an interaction with the Yuan Ti. They think that's an insult and a testament to their strength. I had a large breakfast with pepper in it. I was set up, and he saved my life. And he's like eerily close to you, JJ. You can smell his breath, and it's like old tuna is all he's had for old tuna and ice cream. It's probably all this guy's eaten for the better part of a decade or more.
So what you're saying is you owe the down pays your life.
I would say that I owe many things my life, yes, at this point, yes. 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 He turns and looks and kind of looks at Vel and goes, yes. Yes, I suppose so. As I am a bit hard on times, as I am Bartholomew, you go, buddy, are you going to sit at that one table all day? We got other tables and other customers, buddy. Yes, Gerald, be right there. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. And he walks off, and you hear, and you see there's a gnome and his big curly wig at the registry. He goes, now, did you tell this man that there's rats in the back? I thought I told you not to tell anybody about the rats that make the ice cream. He goes, well, no, I just meant it as I needed the booth. And you start hearing him explaining. He's like, yeah, our rats are very well trained. I don't know why that's an issue all the time, buddy. You can't just keep telling people there's rats in the kitchen. They get the wrong idea. It's just if you could just, but she's at this. I'm never going to get it. And they start trailing off. He's like, I'm gonna have to dock your pay, bud. He's like, you can't. I barely make anything as it is. And anyway, you guys look over the menu. There are 100 flavors of ice cream on the menu. There are milkshakes, sundaes, literally any ice cream convection you can think of is on the menu. And then there are about 3 different ones that are unique to gnomes, which is known as a whiz bang, a haba baloo, and a happy birthday are the 3 gnomish ice cream dishes.
Lucky orders a whiz bang.
A whiz bang, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, what do you want to order?
I'll just do a chocolate sundae.
Chocolate sundae, okay. Orville?
I rolled a 4 on a D100, so whatever your chart wants to spit out is what I'll order.
You want the 4? Okay, so out of 100, the 4th flavor on my menu.
Yeah.
Okay, you get let's see here, butter pecan.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Velithil.
I'll just have a milkshake.
A milkshake, okay. And then JJ.
I'll have the hullabaloo or whatever it's called.
Hubbabaloo.
Hubbabaloo.
Hubbabaloo. So
Hi.
a few minutes pass. You see Buddy, the elf, return to your table, straightening up his ill-fitting shirt and hat. He goes, I'm so terribly embarrassed by that. My apologies. Please, what can I get you? And he pulls out like a small little pad and a piece of like it's a pencil, you know. Right? He goes, what's can I get you? And he writes down your orders. He when he gets to the sundae, he goes, do you want cherries? Any type of topping for your sundae? Just chocolate or?
Cherries would be lovely.
Cherries, okay. Do you want any shaved coconut on that as well?
No, thank you.
All right. You said you wanted a milkshake. Good Lady Dowenvey?
Yes.
Would you like whiskey in that?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. He looks around, he goes, there'd be no additional charges. I could get whatever extras you want
It's quite all right.
between you and me. Okay. Just a regular milkshake. And he goes through and he goes, all right, and a whiz bang and a hubbaloo and butter pecan. He goes, do you want crumbled or whole pecans?
Ooh, hold please.
Whole pecans, okay, whole pecans. All right, I'll go ahead and put this in. And Calliope, of course, orders her double sundae, 3 bananas, and she's like, I want extra cherries. I want coconut on top. I want those rainbow sprinkles. Those are my favorite. And like she orders effectively side dishes plus her ice cream. Like his notepad is mostly Calliope's order. And but he goes, puts it in, walks off, starts putting in your order. You guys look around and like, yeah, it's legitimately like a little ice cream parlor saloon, like soda fountain saloon. And these gnomes run about, and every so often you'll see one of the gnomes walk through and be like, hey, champ, hey, I heard from a very special person in your life that it's your birthday. And it's like, yeah, it is my birthday. How'd you know? He's like, oh, we have our way of knowing here. He's like, so let's hear it for it. And you see like Buddy come back out. And all the staff meet. They go, happy birthday you, happy birthday. We hope you have one too. And they're like, yay! And then again, it's a staff full of gnomes, and then one high elf. And they go, all right, buddy, do it. He goes, happy birthday. And he throws confetti, and it rains down. And you realize that because of his height, he's the only one that's allowed to throw the confetti, so it rains down. And so he has to show up for every birthday and every celebration. Time passes. All your orders are brought out. Calliope's ridiculous sundae is sat in what looks like a glass boat, and it has about 8 scoops of ice cream in it. Tons of toppings, real chunks of fudge, and 3 bananas that have been put up in like a teepee kind of design. And he goes, do you want a fork or a shovel? I'll give you a spoon. And he hands her a spoon. She's like, oh, this is the best. Vel, he slides you a tin cup that has cold milk in it, and it's a great milkshake for what it is. Morgan and Orville, you get both what you ordered, and then we get on to the gnomish ones. Bucky, you get handed what looks like an ice cream cupcake with a stick of dynamite in the middle of it. And next to it is a single match and a place to strike the match. He goes, if you would be so kind as to not light that until I've walked away, I would appreciate it.
What happens when you light it?
It starts.
Okay.
All right.
Bucky relights it immediately.
It starts going. JJ, before we get into that, the thing that you have in front of you is like a collection of berries and like weird frozen little berry things. And as he sets it down, you see there are 2 very tiny ice elementals that are on this thing, and you hear them shouting from one pile of ice cream to the other about like doom and gloom, like, I will defeat you this day. And they start charging at each other and just beating the crap out of each other. And they're tiny little ice elementals that do battle on top of your hubbabaloo. And every so often they'll scoop up the fruit and chuck it at each other. And you get some on you. Like it's an interactive dish. Bucky, you light the fuse immediately. And Buddy goes, oh God, no. Oh, Weavers, why? It goes, it goes, and then you see the candle kind of rip open into a bright kind of like open area of spinning fire and various fireworks. It opens into like a 4-piece chambered compartment that has other candles on it, and you see it start spinning around and start shooting confetti and silly string and various kind of like snowflake patterns, and then it goes, woo, have a great day, and it shoots in your like in the area this like cloud, this like misting cloud of glitter everywhere. Everyone at the table gets covered in glitter. Everyone's food gets covered in glitter, and specifically standing right next to you, who told you please let me walk away first, is now Buddy, face covered in glitter, all in his hair, all over his ill-fitting uniform, and he just kind of like stares, and you can tell like he's already dead inside, but you just compounded this even more. And he just kind of like looks at it and goes, okay, if you need anything else, I'll be back for that. The glitter is edible glitter. You can eat it. Please don't complain. I'm gonna go get a napkin or a dozen of them. He starts kind of walking away. You're like, just eat it. He's like, oh yes, yeah, thank you.
Bucky will flip him a gold coin.
You toss him a gold coin.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of turns and looks and like tries to grab it, and it just like flips past and like pegs him right in the eyeball. He's like, oh, why? Why would you do this to me? Oh, I'm sorry. What have I done to run afoul of you? And he like, and he looks down on the ground and sees a gold coin. And he goes to reach for it, and you see one of the kids go, ha, neat, and grabs it and runs off with it. He goes, what?
Bucky motions for him to come back.
He like, give me a persuasion check, because now he's afraid of you.
What did we learn about throwing things at people?
I know, right? Should have.
What did we learn?
That is a nat 1.
A nat 1? You go,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm sorry, but I just come over here. I know I lit the thing, and I just he goes, I'm good, thank you so much. Just like when you're ready for the check, just like wave your hand in the air, and I will come with bells on. Oh God. He goes, buddy, did you finally change your mind about bells? I heard it, friend. I got those boots right there in the back. And he's like, oh, Weavers, damn it. And he just slowly like just walks away. He's like, I'm coming. But yeah, you guys all enjoy a very, very fantastic little treat. A kind of a nice, enjoyable evening. With that, for everyone who got ice cream, let's see here, for Vel, Morgan, Orville, you each can roll a D4 and gain that many temporary hit points. For Bucky, you may roll as you eat this frozen ice cream cupcake. It is absolutely delightful and a treat. You can roll a D6 and gain that many temporary hit points. And JJ, you can also roll a D6 and gain that many temporary hit points.
5.
Mm-hmm. And then if you currently have a point of exhaustion, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw. If you get a 10 or higher, it actually cures exhaustion. How good the food is.
I got a 10.
Morgan's like, oh my God, I don't know if it's this man's suffering or the food, but I feel so much better.
I'm gonna leave him a plat as a tip after we pay.
Okay.
Just for that.
In total, your bill is not that bad. Your that one platinum will more than cover it. Calliope's whole monstrosity is only a silver. For each of the specialty dishes, it's only a silver. And for everyone else's, it only comes out to be about 2 coppers a person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave 2 platforms. Like,
2
you can
platinum?
keep the rest.
All right.
Yeah.
You wave over. He tells you your total. He's like, yes, so it'd be 3 silver coins and 6 copper pieces. And you hand him 2 platinum, and he goes, I regret to inform you, I cannot make change, as this is far more than what I make in a month working here full time.
No change needed.
And he crumples and just hugs you, Morgan. And you can smell. It's all tuna and like rotted milk is just his smell. And he hugs you.
Whiskey too.
And no, he doesn't drink whiskey. You like it's the whole thing. But he like leans in and just hugs you, and you start feeling like moisture on your shoulder. He is crying to an amount that it's soaking through your tunic. He's like,
I'm just
"Thank
gonna
you.
like pat him.
Bless you. Bless you. I will never disparage half-elves again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Bartholomew, what happened?
I was banished.
I know. How long ago was that?
It's like 600 years ago.
So, before my time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't know you.
Yeah. Have you been here all this time?
Yeah. No. And he like has snot just running down his nose as he's still kind of crying, and he like reaches for like a handkerchief, and he's looking for like napkins and stuff, and Calliope's like, "Oh, here, you can have mine," and her face is just covered in ice cream, and she has like a clean handkerchief, and he's just like, "Thank you, little girl," and starts wiping his nose. He goes, "No, I bummed around for a little bit, and leaving Aurelia was really hard, and then I started heading north, and I bummed around a bit and got really, really high with some satyrs for like, I don't know, a handful of years. And then I ran out of money, as you do, and I started taking odd jobs and had to do some stuff. And then I wasn't allowed to stay at Fort Orson because, well, they said that they didn't want me there, mostly. And so then I moved here and, you know, got a job.
I'm just gonna like pat him again and like slowly push him.
You're like, yeah, he's been having this conversation like next to your face the whole time. And he's like, oh, right, sorry, I'm being weird again. I'm sorry. He goes, all right, well, thank you so much. And you hear, buddy, yeah, you got to make sure you send him off with a smile. He goes, right, of course, Gerald, of course, I'm so sorry. He turns back to you guys and he digs in his pocket and he pulls out this little brass kazoo. He goes, "Ah, we thank you for sailing with sea salts and Sundays. We hope that you've had an absolute fun day. So it's time for me to go and set sail anew. But hey, we hope to see you soon." And then he walks away. He gets about 3 booths over, and you see her like, "I don't like mint, Mom," and he just gets plastered with a mint ice cream cone, just right on the side of his head. He's like, "Going to get the mop, Gerald." He goes, "Oh, you're such a go-getter there, buddy." Goes, "Yep." And he walks into the back room.
Bill, do you know if he has any use as a human, as an elven being?
I mean, he was a diplomat involved in the really, really difficult and tumultuous relation that we've had with Cragmaw and the Swamps of Ilza. It's a long history, and what he was involved with was before I was born. It was 600 years ago.
This is worse, I think, than maybe hell.
death?
The hells.
Maybe hell. Jesus Christ.
So you're saying we should kill him?
Hope you're doing him a favor.
That's not quite what I was
God,
saying.
no.
That's
I was
Doc,
saying,
Bucky.
can
that's
he-
me saying that's Doc.
could he be of any assistance? Is he worth
Oh,
anything as a compatriot? Or
Hold
is
on.
he
His
just
time in would that line up to? Because how long ago did you say that Yet Zakalis was responsible for things?
About 600 years ago. He is in Elven society the picture on the books for like who set Elven society back generations, and it's his picture.
Yeah.
And it's the tale's fairly well known among noble families. Like, he sneezed in front of a guy that hated sneezing, and it infuriated them during the meetings, and everyone says that it's his fault for causing negotiations to break down because he pissed off the previous like warring warlord of the Yuan-Ti people.
Mm-hmm. He might know something about Yetsukalis if he could remember it. We could offer him a fine pay to try and help him ready his life back in if he could help us with some information.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's better than my idea.
Yes, fuck
Your
you.
idea of killing him.
He's like, have birth in the ground.
His life seems worse than hell. I mean, we can send him there. It'll be better at least.
It's really what you think is worse than hell.
Customer service, yeah.
Customer service.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Children.
In an ice cream shop for children, yeah.
It's like no, it's an ice cream shop / Chuck E. Cheese for children. It's like,
And that's when we realized that in walking through the door to this place, we entered the frozen hell, whichever one it's called. We are in hell.
like the Crystalon or whatever the hell it is. All right. Well, with that, I think that's a good stopping point for the night. When we come back, we'll be post ice cream social with Calliope, and we'll set out to get everything started. If that's something you guys are going to end up doing, gives you guys some time to think about what you want to do, time to plan and strategize and think about things to do. For everyone who stuck with us throughout the whole broadcast, really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed and had a fun night. As always, if you had to tap out early, you're currently watching the VOD, most likely, if you're listening to this right now. But for anyone watching, want to tell your friends, the VOD will be available later on. So I do think it's only fitting that we raid Dice Cream Sandwich, because that's just the absolute most fitting thing after following that up. So yeah, for hanging out with us, I've been Kareem Zamir. They've been the Seekers of Galanti. This has been Second Wake. We'll see you guys next Monday for more Dungeons and Dragons. Till then, peace out.